Beyond the splattered grave.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Beyond the Splattered Graves. Evan, why are you crying?
I can still hear him.
Oh, yeah, I know. Alex isn't here with us, unfortunately. Yeah, the guy that met an unfortunate end. I don't know. I don't know how we can put it out there. Yeah, he ate some really bad sushi, and that was the end of that. So it's awful. It's no good. What is up, Necro? How you doing, my guy? Artie, welcome. Everybody in there. Evan, how are we doing other than Alex passing on to a sushi death-related incident?
Well, pretty good. My Halloween special was late, accidentally. What are you gonna do? These things happen.
Did you just forget about the big day?
Yeah, I forgot that it was Halloween. No, I just fell behind on production.
Understood.
But it's out now. Horror of Dracula. I just dropped a video on that, and now I'm working on my video on the original Nosferatu. I'm gonna shoot that tomorrow morning, which I can't wait because that's my favorite vampire movie. So I'm really excited to talk about it. Aside from that, it's just, I don't know, there hasn't really been a whole lot going on. I've been playing the new Call of Duty on Game Pass. That's been about it. Working on videos, playing some Call of Duty, hanging out.
Is that the, can you play multiplayer through that, or do you have to buy it to play multiplayer? Oh, nice. Okay. I have Game Pass, so I might have to experiment with that. I've been hearing a lot of good things, so I'm excited for that.
I'm playing Lies of P again, so there you go. There's some horror adjacent thing.
There you go.
And I saw Terrifier 3 for the third time
recently. Oh, nice. So. Nice. Did you go with friends, or did you just go?
Yeah, I went with my girlfriend and a friend of mine. Because I am planning on doing a deep dive video for it in December, so I was like, I might as well see it as many times as I can and really digest it. Yeah.
No, absolutely. I think it just got announced today. Actually, this was the piece of news that we were talking about a little bit earlier that I forgot. Did it just get announced today, or am I tripping that they have a digital release date now?
I know that November 17th had been floated for a little while.
I will look into that, but if anybody knows in the chat, feel free to inform us.
Dope Six says COD is gay as fuck. Hey, look, COD's been lame for many years, but this one's fun. I like it.
Yeah, come on now.
I also don't really, I have no standards for it. I don't really play a lot of multiplayer games, so I don't have the, radar to detect when it's
what
really
up,
good.
Gremlin?
I just play single player shit, so I don't know. Anyway, I'm having fun with it.
Hey, I feel you. That's, if I play any games at all, it's mostly single player stuff,
same.
Or when we have an asymmetrical horror game.
That's been the big thing.
There you go. Yeah, well, things were interesting for us. We're still trying to plan our 10K thing. I think we're circling a Q&A, so I just have to make the post for that.
I was supposed to
still trying to figure out
50,000, and I forgot to make it. And now this is the issue. I need to make them right away.
That is the problem we're running into. We've just crossed 13K yesterday, last night. So now we're going to be at 20 before we get this thing out, probably, which is very humbling. We thank you all so much. But yeah, it's been going pretty good, though. I got to say, I've been really happy with a lot of the turnout for some of our videos. I think, was it October? Yeah. So it was just after we did the last live stream. I had put out my 5 films that are more disturbing than Terrifier 3, and that completely exploded. So thank you all so much for that. And then my brutal horror movies list number 2 is not doing too bad itself either. So I've been keeping in tandem with all of the really, really rough, brutal horror shit lately. That's where my audience has kind of kept me. So, but hey, if it's what you like, I don't mind talking about it.
Slope to go down.
It has, there's, I don't know how to do this without sounding like an asshole, but sometimes people will just be like, how do you not include this movie on this top 5 list? It's like, well, it's because I'm only talking about 5 movies. That's why there's a part 2. Now there's 10 movies.
Yeah.
There will be a part 3. It's 15. So it's like, I just don't know how to answer
Yeah,
people.
you
Where it's like,
can't cover every movie that exists in a 5 movie long list, unfortunately.
yes, right. So and I think I'm trying to find a balance, like I said in my last one, where it's like I don't just want to play all the hits because everybody was like, oh, like why didn't you put Martyrs on this one? Why didn't you do that? It's like, yeah, it's like I like Martyrs. It's a really brutal, intense horror film, but I need to like, you know, kind of uncover some of those gems that I think people don't know about, which is very much what that first list was, with like Bone Tomahawk being my number one. I just really wanted to talk about that movie.
So
So,
good.
absolutely. And I'm really excited for part three. Part two, I talked about Terrifier 2. I talked about Martyrs. I put 100 Tears in there. Are you aware of that, Evan? Do you know what
No.
that is? So it's like Terrifier before Terrifier. There's Gertie the Clown. Bro, I'm gonna send you a link on YouTube to this movie. Just scroll through a couple of scenes. Like the gore is
2007? Oh
yes,
yeah, here
it
it
is.
is.
It is absurd. And what was really funny? It's one of those kind of serendipitous, kind of like you kind of speak it into existence kind of things.
Yeah.
I put that list out, and then just like late last week, it got announced that it's officially getting a Blu-ray release for the first time
Oh,
ever.
there you
And I
go.
was
This
like,
looks interesting.
yeah, it's not great. I won't say it's anything awesome. It's certainly
I'll give it a watch.
very, very, very low budget, but it's got some really good gore. I will say that they did not skimp in the gore department. Let's see here. And then, oh yes, Necro says that it's coming out November 26th for T3, so that's perfect.
Okay.
Awesome.
That's actually important for me because I will need that for my video.
I did not, Gremlin. I'll have to check that one out. You have to clear movies I like on your list. Yeah, that's just how it is. That's how everybody treats it. It makes me feel cool to lead the interaction, so I keep avoiding adding those films. Yeah, it's definitely it's a lot of fun. Let me see here. We are now about to bring on our guest. This is somebody that I collaborated with not too long ago, earlier this summer, talking about some Friday the 13th stuff again with our buddy Jake. And this is certainly somebody that I've been eager to try to get on the channel. And I think that this was just a perfect time. Unfortunately, we were supposed to be on Alex's channel, but he's not dead. We should have clarified that. No, he's all good, but he just had some personal things come up, so he wasn't going to be available. So I had to kind of hop, skip, and jump. So normally I would have had 2 weeks to proposition this gentleman, but he said, you know what? I got you. So without further ado, here is Brian from the great Slasher in Suits. What is going on, Brian? How you doing,
Hey,
man?
how's it going? Such big fans of both yours channels.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you, sir. Such a big fan of yours as well, sir. Love your kill counts. I really like all of your like kind of lists and things that you seem to put together on your channel. I think that you do a really good job of not only just like, especially when it comes to the newer stuff, because like a lot of people don't want to touch that until you get to like the movie at least being on digital where they can get footage and things, but you find a way around it, and I really think that's awesome, and it seems to be working great. I mean, some of those Terrifier 3 kill counts just absolutely exploded last month. Like I was watching your channel, just oh my god, 200,000 views on some of those. It's amazing.
Oh yeah, it was fire. Last month was the best month I had in like 2 years or something like that. It was great.
I feel like horror is so like prominent this year, especially that like everyone I've talked to who's doing this, October was like, for me, it was the biggest month the channel's ever had.
Oh yeah,
and I know for Dylan it was the same thing.
Yep.
Like everyone I'm talking to basically is just having this like huge explosion because horror is so big, and obviously more people get in the spirit of things in October. So speaking to just how prominent the genre is right now.
Well, it was a good October, man. Last October really sucked.
It was bland.
I mean, yeah, like Exorcist Believer was supposed to be the staple, and then Five Nights at Freddy's, like, I wasn't thrilled, dude.
We weren't thrilled on that one either.
No.
I'm glad we can all agree on
that.
Yeah, that one was certainly like it was a toss-up of a film. It could have been fine, but I never thought it was going to be amazing. And it was just, I remember texting Evan after, I think you texted me actually after we watched it, and I was just like, yeah, this movie was that was rough. Like,
if you're a fan of the game, you like it. My nephews love it. Like, they dressed up as them for Halloween this year. I saw a couple of kids trick or treat dressed up as that stuff. I go,
I'm glad they have that.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, cool, good for you guys.
Yeah.
It's that and Poppy's playtime seems to be the big thing for
Ooh,
kids
Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah.
I shared this. My son went as Art the Clown on for
Yeah.
Halloween, which was very funny. Has never seen the movies. Now he's
Yeah.
2, Brian, and
Yeah.
he's never seen the movies. He only has ever been to Spirit Halloween where he's seen the animatronic of Art the Clown as it waves and honks the horn.
Mhm.
Became obsessed with it. That's all he wanted to be for Halloween. He just kept saying, I want to be Art the Clown.
Oh,
And
that's so cute.
he has no idea anything else other than he just waves and honks the horn. We gave him a little trash bag. He runs around with it.
That's
He
all
has
he does,
no
really.
clear what's going on, but it is what it is.
Yeah, my son's 3. Last year we did like Chucky, and then
We did Chucky too
the
for his first
grandparents
one.
are like, "Dude, why you gotta make it so scary?" So this year he's like an astronaut, and
It's
we always do
Halloween.
like 3 different costumes or something.
My son has to. Like, my mother-in-law is retired, so she finds every October, she finds all of these like trunk or treat, small trick or treat events at like churches, community centers all around the town we live in. And she just takes him. So like they'll have him like on Wednesday nights. So she'll just have him throughout the day. And then right when I get off work, I just drive there and meet him, and he's dressed as Spider-Man or Hulk. And then Art the Clown was for the big night. But yeah, it's like it's the same thing. He had to have multiple different costumes this year.
Oh, baby Art the Clown, that's so cool.
I should
They even
clarify-
sell that at Spirit Halloween? I
No,
thought
we had to
there was
make
a-
it. We had to
You made it?
ramshackle.
Cool.
We had to ramshackle a costume together. We had to get a random black and white clown costume, which isn't like exactly Art the Clown. We got an adult sized Art the Clown mask, like a cheap one,
Yeah.
and we like stitched it together in the back, like tailored it so it would stick on his face a little bit better. Turned out pretty good though. So
Oh, put that in your merch store, dude. I'll get it for next year. Dude.
there we go. I'll just start buying them off Amazon and start stitching them. These are
Yeah.
child size Art the Clown for 3T and up. There you go.
You have to call it something else for copyright, right? You
That's
have to
right.
be like baby clown killer.
Baby
something.
clown killer. Yep. I love it. I love it. Evan, what were you going to say there, my boy?
Oh, I was just saying that
Let me get that off your
I had
screen,
a
too.
couple people asking about the Halloween special because the last couple of years I had put up videos documenting putting up the Halloween display.
Mhm.
And some people had noticed that those were gone, and then I didn't do another one this year. That's simply because the channel is much bigger now, and those videos like showed too much of where I live. Where it
Oh
was
no,
like, I wasn't
you doxed
comfortable.
yourself.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
no.
wasn't like at the time the channel had like 100 subs when I was making those. So, like I didn't really care, but it's like now that things are getting like hundreds of thousands of views, I'm like I don't really want to
I
do that.
never would have even considered that. So that
Yeah.
is very smart of you
So
to take
I
those
just
down.
decided to like like this was months ago that I privated them, but I took those off. I'm keeping them, but I took them off the channel and won't be doing any more of those just for privacy reasons.
Understood. Absolutely. Got to be careful out there. Graveyard Key is in the chat. What's going on? How you doing, my friend? Saw Terrifier 3
God.
for the 7th time.
7 times.
I saw it
Good
3 times.
Lord.
I'm impressed.
I gotta go a third time. Yeah,
Yeah, I
went
still have
the
I have to
same
get a
weekend.
third under my belt, but I'm thinking, you know what would be great is like, so what day is Thanksgiving this year?
I
Is
don't know.
that
It's still
the
my favorite one, by the way. After the
22nd?
third watch, it's still my favorite.
Yes.
Respect,
agreed.
respect. Well, whatever day, I think it might be the 21st. So, okay, maybe, or it's somewhere around there. Point is, I'm going to watch Thanksgiving, and then I would love it if it's out already. If it's not out, I want to do like a double feature of that, and then leading right after Thanksgiving into Terrifier 3 to just go right into Christmas.
See, I'm
Excellent.
in Canadian land, so Thanksgiving already happened for me.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Unfortunately, won't be joining you in on that, but
What is Thanksgiving in Canada?
it's in October.
Oh, same theme about the pilgrims and Indians.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing.
Same
pretty
thing.
much.
All of
What
it's
was
the same.
What was
Oh,
the actual
alright.
date? I don't know. It was like midway through October, like the 14th or something like that.
Is it as big of a deal up there? Do you guys actually get together and have
Yeah.
dinner? Or is it more
Oh,
just
yeah.
okay? Gotcha.
Yeah, it was
gotcha.
the 14th. Yeah, we all get together. We always have nice family dinner. It's lovely. We do all the same stuff. It's just a different. Whoa! We just got quite the message in chat. Wow.
And finally agrees Strange Chapter 1 is better than A Violent Nature. Brandon,
No.
get out of here.
No.
Go away.
Absolutely
Banned.
not.
He's always doing this to me, man. It's like he's always, he's throwing in A Violent Nature under the bus, which, I have to look like an asshole.
I just got
'cause
my Blu-ray for it.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
It's
it
been
just
sold
arrived.
out every opportunity I have to snag it.
Dude, I
It sells
pre-ordered
out
it
real
as
quick.
soon as they were available. Like I ordered this months ago.
I didn't think it was going to be that hot ticket of an item, but like I'm going to have to snag one soon. I'm trying to get the so the Naughty Cut Steelbook is supposed to be at Walmart for us in the States for Krampus, so I'm trying to get my hands on one of those. But no, like Brandon's always doing this to me, man. He's always like, I will say I respect his opinions. He always comes in with a hot take,
I have
but
the image on his shirt. I have that poster on my bedroom wall, so I respect that. But I certainly don't agree with that opinion.
yeah, it is one of those things where he is always making me have to like stand up and defend in a violent nature so hard, even though it was like, in our review, I gave it a recommend as opposed to a must see. So people are going to be like,
Strangers
oh
Chapter
man.
2 got a teaser.
Oh, Strangers Chapter 2. Yeah, no, that was certainly something. I remember that.
Better
That was
one. You know what would be cool if they just redid Pray at Night.
And just that's the sequel. Chapter 2 is just a redo of Pray at Night. Oh my god, I don't even know, man. I'm still gonna go in optimistic about this one, but this very much feels like how.
Why are you going in optimistic?
Because
I'm probably like
now
open-minded, but optimism.
There's no way that they can. There's
I'm
no way they
optimistic.
can like repeat the same shit like again. Like they can't just are they going to do a second movie where it's like she's in the hospital for a portion of it and then they're just going to repeat the same movie again? No way, right?
They're
No
gonna
way.
do Halloween Kills. She never leaves the hospital, right?
Yeah.
That
That scene where she's in the car and it's like they're saying that those are the people, the strangers. That is literally the last like 5 seconds of the movie.
What if it turns out that they actually are? And they
Dude,
just showed that in the
trailer. I
Mm-hmm.
not to turn this into a whole, we can talk about it, I don't care. But like I really feel like they are, because nothing creative happened in that first film. So it would not shock me if they are literally just showing us the strangers right there in the trailer. Like, because we all said when we saw that trailer, Brian, we hadn't talked about it yet, but like I want to know your thoughts. When you saw that Strangers Chapter 1 trailer, did you like really just sit there and think like the rest of us, like, doesn't seem like they're doing anything new? It just seems like an updated version of what we got before.
Yeah, like why are we doing a remake? It's not even that old to be remade. Yeah, I thought that's why everyone was so upset. It looks like a little bit different. Like, oh, this dude is just you could take a shower and he disappears. Are they supernatural? I had a lot of questions going into it, but then yeah, I didn't know it was gonna be a shot for shot remake. It's basically the Psycho one.
Yeah, part of what was annoying about it too was that they were like, "This is not a remake." They were like responding to people being like, "It looks like you're doing the same thing," and they're like, "No, this isn't a remake of The Strangers." So then people obviously are going to go in expecting something different, and it is just a really shitty remake of The Strangers. That's all it was.
It doesn't help like that. I think like every horror channel went and revisited The Strangers chapter, like, well, not chapter 1, The Strangers, and then Pray at Night. And like people like Luke and I who were like, I remember Pray at Night not being so good. Like rewatched it and we're like, Pray at Night is actually pretty solid.
It's great.
And it's like now after seeing chapter 1, it's like, no, Pray at Night is like amazing. Like it's one of my favorites.
Pray at Night's praises since it came out. That movie is awesome. I really like it.
I really don't know if like it was just me being a jaded, like, junior in high school, senior, whenever that came out, and like I just was like, no, it's a garbage sequel,
like,
whatever.
It's a different thing.
Because like I was one of those people that when horror movies would come out in January, I just assumed they were bad because it was January, the crappy month, and I'm pretty sure that came out in like January or February.
I think you're right.
And I was just like, oh no, it's gonna be bad. So I never like watched it until like I think I had said I watched it like a little slumber party get together thing I did, like someone's birthday, they were watching them, and like, yeah, I didn't like give it enough of a try, but when I rewatched it just in anticipation, I loved it. Like, I mean, it was excellent. Like,
it's
seriously
one of
those
cool.
Going into this January now is we have 2 movies that I think look really promising. Obviously Wolfman, Lee Winnell's Wolfman.
I'm hoping, brother.
Lee Winnell and Invisible Man slapped, and he hasn't made a bad movie yet. But then Presence looks really cool.
Oh yeah, I'm looking so down for that. You know what sucks about that though is like Luke and I were toying around with a short film about a year ago when we were circling to direct and do Sycophant that was a horror film told from the perspective of like a ghost, like an entity. And now it's like, you have Steven Soderbergh doing it. I give up. Fuck it. It's
Yeah.
over, bro. The guy who did Traffic. I'm done.
Dude,
It's
I
not
had
gonna
a
happen.
similar thought to that once where I don't know why. Oh, it was after there was this like immersive Vincent van Gogh exhibit that opened up around me where they were basically like projecting his paintings onto like the walls and ceilings and stuff, and you could go in and learn about him. And it was really cool. And I went in, and then I kind of went on a deep dive on Van Gogh's life, and then I heard this theory about the actual reason behind why he died, and I was like, oh my god, that sounds like such an interesting thing. I want to make that into a movie someday. So then I start researching it more to just like write a script for fun, and then I was like, oh, they already did that, and Willem Dafoe played him. I will. I'm gonna back off.
Yeah, that's I have yet to see that movie. I heard a lot of good things because
I haven't seen it yet either, but I really want to watch
2018.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I that was right when he was like still like, I think it was the same year actually. It was 2018. I'm pretty sure because I know like he had just done like The Lighthouse and he was just in everything. Like he still is, but
Still
like,
in everything.
Lighthouse was 2019.
oh, was it?
Yeah.
Jesus, I'm getting everything twisted, man.
Favorite movie of 2019, not even a question.
Love that one.
And what are we now? Fucking almost. We're less than 2 months away from Nosferatu.
We are. We're getting real close.
Oh my god.
Are you looking forward to that one, Brian?
Yeah, I think so, but I'm not a big fan of marketing where they don't show the thing. Like every time they have a King Kong or the Godzilla, they don't want to show it. I go, dude, give us a glimpse. And
I think it makes sense for this though, because like the character of Count Orlok is such like a mysterious, shadowy, like shrouded character that it makes sense to save the reveal for when you're in the theater.
Like Longlegs, they didn't want to show Nick Cage, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people went to go see Longlegs just for that.
That is true. I think that I agree with Evan for this movie. I think this works really well, but I do agree with you that like for like a Godzilla movie, like when they were teasing -1 at the start, like I was like, oh, I just want to see the design. I just want to see what they're doing because like we've seen Godzilla a bunch, so it's like I just want to see the design. But for this, I'm actually fine with it because I'm actually cool with just going in not seeing it, especially because we're so close. If this had been, if they had shown us,
it's gonna be good.
If they had shown us in the first trailer what he looked like or just given us a glimpse, then I would be like, I'm fine with seeing it. But
and I mean, they have given us glimpses. We've had plenty of glimpses.
Not enough, which is good. So
I was talking with Brandon, actually. I think Brandon at the
I was going to say,
about,
Brandon has been very adamant that he wants to see what Orlok looks like before he sees
We were talking about it, I think, on Twitter or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm such like, but I'm also, to be fair, in the boat where they could have not released a single trailer for this movie, not done an ounce of marketing, and I would still be as excited as I am now. So like, I didn't really care about what they did with the marketing. So there's that too. Graveyard Key. No, I don't have a video on The Lighthouse yet, but I will soon.
Oh yeah, let me go through some of these real quick because there's a few good ones in here.
Yeah.
Dominic St. Clair says, I'm waiting till Christmas to see Terrifier 3. Well, good for you, man. I hope you can hold out that long because that would be an excellent day to spend your Christmas there. Dylan, how the hell did you get the Frogman pack? Are they available to buy? Oh, so that was actually Luke. Luke got that for his birthday. He bought that for himself. It was so I believe, I forget who was putting that out. I think it was it might have been Vinegar Syndrome, one of the companies. They had put out a large like collector's edition that you had to pre-order like months ago, and he ordered that back then, and it just so happened to show up, and I'm super jealous. I just have the standard Blu-ray from Walmart that came out from oh no, it was TerrorVision. That's who did it. I just have their standard one, but great one to have. Excellent flick. Strangers Chapter 2, Evil Dies Tonight. Yes, excellent. Great title. I actually like the OG and Pray at Night. Yes, agreed. Those last 10 minutes of In a Violent Nature was the worst thing this year. Really hurt the film for me. Hey, understandable. It's definitely it deflates that movie, and I said that many times in my reviews. Yeah, it definitely takes what was an interesting slow burn concept and then just kind of deflates it real quick. I know you did a bunch of coverage on your channel, Brian, for that film. How did you feel about In a Violent Nature as a whole?
Oh, it's great. I think out of all the slashers this year, this is probably like third best slasher, fourth, maybe after Maxine. before Winnie the Pooh, before Stream. I don't know. I really liked it.
You liked Maxine, did you?
Yeah, I liked Maxine. It was pretty dope.
Good.
I enjoyed Maxine as well.
Yeah, disappointed a little bit, but
I was not a fan, and I love
At
X
all?
and Pearl. No, I really was. I did not have a good time with that movie.
After Evan saw it, he texted me on that one too, and I thought you were fucking with me.
because every time we see a movie, we text each other. We're like, "Well, that was fucking ass."
Yeah,
every
it's like,
time.
oh no.
But like, I was like, "That was mid," and you were like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "No, I'm serious. I did not like that."
I didn't believe you. I was
Yeah.
like, wait, really? I enjoyed it. I thought it was fine. It's different for sure, but I
love
also,
X and Pearl though.
I get it,
Yeah.
100%. It's very different. Than
It is
X
to the
and
point
Pearl
where like
were-
I'm not even gonna buy it.
Oh wow,
Yeah.
That's tough.
But,
I'm still
you
gonna
know.
pick it up. I like
Yeah,
it.
sure.
So.
And
Still a
you-
solid trilogy. It's like The Godfather Part 3, pretty much.
Good. Yeah,
It's
it's not the worst thing in the world, but it
It's
isn't up to the
acquired
par of the
taste.
other two.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we're just more sophisticated than you, Evan. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see here. Pray at Night is a longtime comfort food for me. I love the soundtrack too. Often play it to the background during the evening
Fuck
and
yeah.
when friends are around. Hell yeah.
It's the
Excellent.
fog theme, which is a great theme,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just the same. It's basically the exact same theme as John Carpenter's The Fog.
Yes, absolutely love the pool scene there. This is a good one. Is anybody excited for Heretic?
I'm intrigued.
Seeing good reviews and love Hugh Grant.
I had no interest until I heard Cody like go on about how good it was. And I'm
Really
like, oh,
glazed
okay.
it up, yeah. He glazed
Yeah.
it so hard they put it on the official page or something.
Did they?
Like that.
I
Did
just
they?
saw
That's
him on.
awesome.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope they're cutting my boy a check or something for putting his video on there.
Jake
Yeah,
got on
that's
the
awesome.
marketing for Blood and Honey too.
Yeah.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Congrats, yeah.
I know. I'm out here. I'm trying, man. I'm glazing all kinds of movies, just waiting for my checks, waiting for my
I get
quotes on
accused
I'm
of
gonna
the
glazing.
glaze everything until
Man,
they
I get
pick one
accused of
up.
glazing so much on the Terrifier 2
I
video
know,
and the
yeah,
Halloween Ends
it's-
video.
Yeah.
Everyone's just like, "You're glazing." I'm like, "God damn it, man!
It's
I just like it.
tough.
I just
Yeah.
like it."
And it's hard. We saw so much kickback on that too. Like you, myself, Alex, and even Jake, because we all got screeners for In a Violent Nature. So it was one of those things where we really liked it, but it did take us like a couple of watches to really get cemented with it.
We also
like-
didn't see we saw it before any there were no reviews of it.
Dude,
at
it
the
was like a
time.
month. It was only festival reviews. It was like
Yeah.
a
Oh,
month
wow.
before the movie came out. So like we had all got to sit with it. So like people
Yep.
were like,
I
and
think
we
I'd seen it
loved
like
it.
2 or 3 times before it was in the theater, so like I had time to like digest it.
yeah, it was one of those things, yeah, where it's like you really like it, but you also wanted to just like, because we were honest in our review where we were just like, yeah, it's like there's definitely flaws with it, there's issues, but like the stuff that was awesome was fucking amazing. Like it was great. It felt like a very different kind of Friday the 13th
Totally.
story, and we hadn't had that in so long. So it was kind of trying to walk those lines between what that is. I feel like one movie that if I had to go back and take away my rating for and just change it down one thing would probably be Longlegs. I've seen it now a second time. I love the movie still,
Yeah.
but I just think that, and spoilers for Longlegs, sorry, but like once they get into that reveal again about it being
It's too
kind of
exposition
supernatural, I feel like you just lose so much of the energy of that movie. I'm just kind of like, I like the fact that this could have all been explained as like it being a real thing and there wasn't any supernatural like
Yeah.
stuff to it. I would have loved if it was just he was a really like manipulative, interesting serial killer, which he was, but it's like
Yeah.
you can't just explain away things by saying it was the devil. You know what I mean? I feel like that's such a cop out.
I know. I fell asleep during Long Legs in the theater.
Did you?
I know, and I was like, man, I gotta make a video about it because I woke up and it was like the ending. And then I heard everyone talk about the ending, so I was like, well, I want to make a video. So I went to go see it a second time and made sure to drink coffee and make sure to stay up.
Yeah.
Hell
I
yeah.
finally caught the ending. But yeah, I've seen it probably like 3 times now. I
like
just watched. I just put it on for somebody the other day, and then they were like, "Why the fuck you put that on for me?" I was like, "I know, I'm sorry, dude. Whatever."
It's
No
yeah,
one's about 1,000.
it's definitely one of those things. It's like it's very, very polarizing. I still get a lot of people coming back on our spoiler review and our my list video where I did 5 films before Longlegs, where people are just like hating on me, saying this movie was dog shit. How could you talk about it so positively? It's like, especially in that one, I'm like, I haven't seen the movie yet, guys. I was still excited, like I was still like optimistic. Like, don't shit on me.
You know what the big one I get is Lake Mungo.
Really?
I mean, dude, every second comment is like, "You're an idiot. This movie's terrible."
Damn, and that video's doing well. I thought that would have been.
Oh, it's doing super well, but I've had like numerous people be like, "You were paid to make this."
Why would anybody pay you for a movie that's fucking, what is that, like 13 years?
It was made, in like 2008 or something like that, and it was an independent movie in Australia.
Yeah, they're just
Who's paying me to talk about this?
I had to look it up after a video came out. Like, am I missing something? Did this just come out? Like, what's going on?
It's a good one. It's definitely, I think, I would recommend it. So did you watch Evan's video on it, or did you? Okay, yeah, it's definitely, I think you did a good job of selling the movie to people, but also explaining how, like, the horror actually, like, what it is that's scary. Because I feel like the worst thing that happened for that movie, and I love him to death, he's a friend of mine, but like, when Chris Stuckman said that was one of the scariest fucking videos, or scariest fucking movies of his life, and didn't really dive too deep into why.
That was why I made that like 10-minute intro on that video.
Exactly.
Which I got a lot of hate about, but I'm like, I need to introduce it that way.
Because people will literally go in there and be like, it's not scary. It's not even fucking freaky at all. Like, this is so dumb and stupid. It's like, no, it's like once you actually like dive into it and you start talking about why it's scary, it's a movie that like, it sits with you. And I think you projected that perfectly in that video, just talking about the documentary feel, everything that was like, and we've talked about it many a times, but the fact that you were just like, explaining why it was scary and what made you like, what you were afraid of. I was like, yes, that is precisely what stuck with me when I was watching that for the first time. So
you can't label something as like the scariest thing ever, because people go, oh, really?
Yeah, that's why I made that intro about like, for me, and it's very specific. And I mean, again, same thing happened for The Witch. There's a lot of these, that kind of like quieter movie that seems to be super divisive.
I will always remember my experience seeing The Witch for the first time, because I walked out of that theater with a big group of friends and a bunch of strangers, and everybody, it was one of those movies where we were all talking to each other afterwards, like strangers and friends and everything. I was the only person out of a group of like 13 who like enjoyed that movie.
That's just
I was
wild.
The one who said I was great. I was like, this is great. And like everybody else was like, no, it has no point. It's all pointless. Like, it was so slow. And I was just like, I really liked it. Now, cut to a few years later, my wife loves that movie. My buddy Jeffro loves that movie. Like, everybody that I went and saw that with, other than like maybe 2 who haven't rewatched it, all love that movie. It's like, just takes time.
It's personal. Brandon says that Maxine was the best of the trilogy. To each their own.
Wow.
There you go.
Not for me.
There you go.
But I was paid off by Big Mungo Hardy. Graveyard Key brings up Cuckoo.
Oh yeah, let's see. Yeah, no one talks about
Maddox
Cuckoo.
is weighing, and she loved that movie.
Oh, Cuckoo is great. It's still one of my top 5 of the year for sure. Did you see Cuckoo, Brandon? Or Brian? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm getting all the B names.
Top 5. Whoa, that's
I
a glaze.
love Cuckoo. I will say, out of all the neon stuff I saw this year, between Immaculate, Cuckoo, and Longlegs, that one was like I went in with like the lowest expectations. Like, I was excited for it, but I was like, it's not going to be nearly as good as all those. Honestly, hit me with a right hook. I was so into that movie.
I really enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it less as it went on.
And I hear that a lot. And that's a movie I've seen now a couple of times, and I can say each time I've seen it, I just love it more and more. I love the performances.
It feels to me like a comic book movie, not based off a comic book.
Yep. Yeah. It turns into like a silly like shootout action movie by the end, and I'm just like, you've lost me.
I get that. I really
That's what
feel
it
like
is. That's what the third act is.
Well, it's like an X-Men movie. It's like they're born and they're mutants. Yeah, I was like, is that X-Men? I never heard of it.
I respect it, but it didn't.
It feels more like science fiction-y than I would say like superhero-y, in my opinion. Like, it feels like old science fiction. And like, that's something, because it's like, it's just such an out there concept that gets really like, and I don't feel like the shootout scenes are like they feel grounded to me. So it's like I don't know. I again, it's another divisive film from this year that I absolutely get if people aren't into, because it's like it's one that I think just hit me in all the right spots. I loved it.
Dylan, do you have a movie of the year so far?
It's tough, man. I still think Late Night with the Devil is very much in talks of being my number one, probably number three. I just rewatched it again on Halloween. It's no better time to watch it, in my opinion, is than on Halloween night. Like, it's such a great, like, the atmosphere, everything. It's so good.
What about you, Brian?
Maybe T3, dude. I just love
Understood.
It's up there for me.
Yeah, and that's another one that I could say easily could be a number, just because the expectations for that movie were so sky high that, like, the fact that it delivered on every form just works. But in all reality, now that I'm really sitting back and thinking about it, I think The Substance might be contender for number one.
Yeah,
it's either Late Night or The Substance.
I'm either Substance, Terrifier 3, or First Omen.
What's everybody else saying? What do we got?
I've rewatched First Omen like a number of times now, and I loved it. Substance, I've seen.
Yep. See, okay, Substance. Yeah,
Substance
is coming up. Yep. Brandon says Substance movie of the year. Absolutely, dude. I agree. It's easily one of the best. Is First Omen still up there for you, Evan?
Yep.
Right,
yeah, I would say Substance, Terrifier 3, and First Omen are my favorite of the year so far. But obviously, one of those is going to get bumped because we know what's coming. But
it's already number one. Nosferatu number one.
It's one of, like, I'm not gonna go and say like it's already gonna be my favorite movie of the year, but just like track record in terms of like being like such a fan of Egger's work and such a fan of Nosferatu, like the original Nosferatu being my favorite vampire movie, and seeing my favorite modern director tackle that property with like trying to recreate 19th century romanticism, which is one of my favorite eras of artwork. So it's like there's just like everything with this movie is lining up perfectly. So I'm like, I just don't see how this isn't going to work.
That is a great question, Necro. I have no idea. I'm sorry. I just saw that and I was like, I have literally had that conversation with myself before. Here's another one. Strange Darling.
I still need to see that.
What?
I missed it. I missed it.
Strange Darling's excellent.
I think I was busy working on that giant Terrifier 2 video at the time, and I just didn't get around to going out to the theater to see it.
That has, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, as far as performances go from actresses, like, this year has just been a year to remember for so many. Like, I saw a list on Twitter the other day of just all of these, like, female-led horror films that were just
killing.
All of these performances, I'm like, dude, any of these could be like number one for me. And like, I gotta say though, I really think that Willa Fitzgerald for Strange Darling though.
I need to see it.
I won't say anything else, but it's like there's a flip in that movie, Evan. And when you see it, you're gonna be like, oh my God.
I gotta watch that soon. I also, by the way, I think it's really good that like
absolutely
some of the best horror movies this year and some of the most successful have been like female directors, female-led movies dealing with like female problems in society, and they've been like Substance and First Omen are both very much like that kind of thing. I think it's great that we're seeing more of that because that it is important.
Yeah, I would say this year goes to the ladies for sure, man.
Absolutely.
I mean, like 2024, they owned it, and performance-wise, directing-wise, there's so many like great female-led projects that just absolutely.
Substance made me like very emotional.
It was one of those movies that like I walked out of and I was so genuinely satisfied and happy. Like,
I mean, that scene when she's getting ready for the date,
so weird, so good.
Dude, I was so sad. I was so fucking sad. Graveyard Key asked about the Northman. I suck with scores because I feel like scores, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense. Like, where do you would put like Blood Rage? Why would you put Blood Rage? Like, objectively, you'd have to put it at like something really low, but like fun-wise, it would be higher. Scores are weird. I think The Northman is a fucking masterpiece. I love that movie. Thought it was phenomenal. I'm going to be doing a video on it, so I'll share my thoughts about it. But
easy for me. It's an amazing movie. I love it to death. It's certainly, as far as the Viking like content goes, it's up there as some of the best. I mean, I know that show Vikings is nailed for a lot of people. It's but I think for me personally, it sits at number 3, and that's not a strike on Eggers. Like when you're talking about all 3 of those movies, it's like they're all 3 great, like
I
for
think what's
different
so
reasons.
wild, like what I find
I'm
so
a
impressive
Lighthouse
about it is
boy.
that, like,
I love the Lighthouse.
Lighthouse is
so
my
much.
favorite of his for sure. But like it is so mood dependent. Like there's gonna be some days where I'm like Northman is number 1. And then there's gonna be some days where all I want to see is The Witch. But like Lighthouse is at my core. That's the top spot. So we'll see.
Yeah, and Brian, what is would you say we talk about obviously Robert Eggers all the time as Evan's favorite filmmaker? Do you have a
sorry, I need
favorite
to stop.
filmmaker?
Oh, well, besides like Scorsese and Tarantino and stuff, favorite one for horror? Oh man, oh that's tough. Who's like 5 for horror? You know, like Wes Craven, John Carpenter,
Carpenter.
Jordan Peele's 3 for 3. I mean,
Yep.
yeah. That girl just did Revenge and The Substance. She's
Yeah.
2 for 2.
I still
for
have to go
tens.
back and see the Revenge. It was one of those things where like, and I just before we went live got an interesting comment that I'm gonna have to go like yell at them about because they were bashing me for saying that I don't like films that center around essay and stuff like that. They're just hard for me to watch.
Yeah.
And like that was a movie I was avoiding because of that subject matter. Like the essay revenge stuff it's just not my cup of tea. But because of how much I loved The Substance and just how much I want to support her as a filmmaker, I'm like, I'm gonna go back and watch it because everybody said it was great. It was just again one of those. I'm like, I don't need to see it, but like The Substance has just won me over so hard. I'm like,
Yeah.
I need to at least check this out.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch it again this week. You guys are we're glazing The Substance right
We
now
are.
too. Hopefully, we can get something out of it too.
Yeah, there needs to be a quote from us on the Blu-ray box beyond the splattered grapes. Like,
Yeah,
let's do it. I love it. Oh,
give it
Graveyard
all the
Queen.
Oscars.
David Bruckner is fantastic.
David Bruckner, Dan Trachtenberg haven't missed for me. Absolutely. Yep.
Night House, I think, does not get talked about enough.
I have that on a list.
Night House fucking slaps.
There was a specific list that somebody emailed me about. If you're watching, you know who you are. Somebody emailed us asking if we do a list, and I was just like, I had like 25 movies come to my head right there, and as I was going through them, I just was like, oh, The Night House is so fucking perfect for this. So I'll be discussing that one soon. I love that movie. Have you seen The Night House, Brian?
Yeah. I think I tried to do a video on it, but it's very like haunted-y house, and I do better with like violent slashery sort of stuff. So people are like, "Why do you even make a video about it?" So I go, I liked it.
I definitely want to make a video about it.
Yeah, I need to package it better. I need to do something like Evan. I need to make it better like that.
Do a video essay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think like when you want to dive into stuff like that, I feel like the way Evan tackles his videos, doing the video essay style, like that works really well. If you want to talk about like themes or like something that's like more or less like genre types, like I feel like lists are really good for that.
Yep.
Yeah. Keep
and then
them
like
interested the whole time.
Yeah, and if you can find the right moment, like it's always up or down for me, but just doing a classic movie review of just like a fucking horror movie that you love. Like sometimes you'll do one like we did our hot takes on Halloween Kills. Nobody watched it, got like 200 views. But then we did one on Prometheus just when Romulus had come out. That did really well for us, and it was just people were excited to see it. It's like it just depends. I mean, I feel like it really just depends on what the audience is like looking for in that movie and the kind of conversation they want to have.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not like a video essay guy. That's why I like watch other videos for that. Like I like to get to the point or making jokes or whatever and just having a good time with it. Like diving deep in it. Like it's like I'm not a film critic or anything. I don't think anyone went like, oh, I'm gonna watch this video because I liked it. I think if you watch my video and have a good time with it, that's all I want.
You love to entertain. Nothing wrong with that. I definitely feel that too. I want to do like I always tell myself that I want to do videos like how Evan does his video essays and stuff. And like I did 1 or 2 in the past that I was really proud of, but I mean, I guess it's just more praise to you, sir. Like the amount of effort and like just I guess constitution it takes to sit down, write everything out. Because I'm very much a person that'll write bullet points, write notes, and then just kind of start going. And then I let myself go and I just cut out whatever I don't
Well, I
like or when I'm
script out of
vibing.
necessity because I'm so scatterbrained that if I try to sit in front of a camera without a script, it's going to be a jumbling mess of nothingness. Like it's just it doesn't work.
I've written things where it's like I feel like I'm the opposite there, where it's like I will talk a lot, but like I can just kind of edit in my brain. Then when I sit down, I know what I'm already cutting. But like if I write, I will just write and write and write and write and write, and then I'll be like, well, I haven't even gotten to my point. This is still the introduction.
Oh yeah, I
And
mean,
it's like-
I just had a 10-minute intro to the Lake Mungo video. Like I definitely have that.
Yeah.
Where like
it is sometimes
go drag.
that's one that's a necessity. I feel like, again, like we just talked about, you need to really prime people for that.
I get a lot of those like timestamp when the video actually starts comments
Oh,
because of
wow.
how meaty some of the intros are.
That's
you know,
funny.
whatever.
I love that.
I
Let's
sort
see.
of cut down all intros. I just go, "Look!"
Yeah.
And you even ended abruptly.
I did
too.
cut out my intro video just to try and keep up people's attention a little more.
I saw, yeah, I commented on that when you did that. I miss it, but I understand.
I'll send you the MP4.
I'll start using it, just randomly throwing it in
Yeah.
our videos. Romulus made Prometheus better, and I don't know if you guys saw it, but Ridley Scott has a new Alien movie in the works, and so does Fede Alvarez. Dan Trachtenberg teased a new AVP movie. I did see that, and I was going to offer that up as some news we could talk about a little later, so maybe we will dive into it. I just know Evan's not the biggest on either of those franchises. Brian, are you big into the
It's
Alien
not that
and
I'm
Predator
not big
world?
on them.
Yeah.
I am completely inexperienced.
Hell yeah. That's what I'm saying. You don't know much of the lore, so it'll be kind of
Yeah.
tough to kind of
I
really
liked
get into it.
Romulus. I can say that much.
You like Romulus, right?
Yeah, I liked
Evan?
it.
Yeah.
I've seen the original Alien and Romulus.
That's it?
Yeah.
Aliens?
Yep, nope, just the first one
No.
and Romulus.
Oh, man.
I've said this to so many people, Brian, but like, can you imagine that kind of a jump from going from Alien to Alien Romulus? Like,
It's pretty
what
cool.
Alien Romulus goes into, all of this stuff he has no context for. It's like all these little things they're talking about, and it's just
Yeah.
like, I'm just taking the ride. It's
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
here you
I
go.
was
Watching
like,
it
sure,
in
let's do it, yeah.
chronological order, I guess, because it's in between the two. So I
Yeah.
guess
True,
that's
yeah.
a good way to
No,
watch
Graveyard,
it.
you are correct. You don't have to
Yeah.
say you're joking. You are right.
Yeah, that's one.
I have not
if-
seen it.
You do need to see
Wow.
Aliens.
James
and
Cameron.
Brian, this
Wow.
will hurt even more. This guy hasn't even seen Predator.
Predator.
Or Terminator.
My daddy made me watch that every weekend, dude. We had to
Well,
watch Predator.
Look,
all
so
the
we didn't
time.
grow up. I've said this a couple times. We didn't grow up with sci-fi. Sci-fi was like not the mainstay. Like I saw Star Wars and I saw some of Battlestar Galactica because my mom liked it, but like sci-fi was not the like my dad, who's the reason I got into horror, was all like gothic horror, like atmospheric, creepy stuff. So that was what I saw, like Hammer horror films and that kind of shit. So when it came to like sci-fi, it was just something that wasn't around, so I was never exposed to it, and I was also never drawn to it, so I didn't wind up seeking it out myself. But now I have this big gaping hole. I mean, like there are exceptions, like The Thing is like one of the greatest movies ever made,
Yeah.
but you know, what can I say?
No, you'll
Yeah.
get to it. It's
Mhm.
fresh pair of eyes. Wow.
Eventually.
That's crazy.
He did get
we
to
should do a video
experience-
about it. First
Oh,
time watching it.
This is the one thing, yeah. But it kind of paid off because I did get to experience the original Alien in like the perfect way, because I got to see it when they re-released it in theater for the
Yeah.
anniversary.
Yeah.
And so I got to see Alien for the first time in a theater packed full of Alien nerds who were
Yeah.
like super happy to be there, and it was great. It felt like a perfect way to see that movie.
And he got to see the cut with Sigourney Weaver's bush still in it.
Yes, I did.
I didn't
Yes.
realize that was a
Really?
I didn't realize that was a controversy until the week that came out. Like there was a bunch of articles talking about they put Sigourney Weaver's bush back. It's like, what? Like what the fuck
it
are you
was
talking about?
gone. Yeah.
I guess I was like, really? That was what we were up in arms
They're
about?
bringing the bush back. I see it more in a lot of movies. The substance, you see a little bit of stubble for
Yeah.
a second. You're like, oh, wow.
Nothing wrong with it. It's
And she
all
came out of
natural.
that woman's back with stubble. So it's like,
Yeah.
you're all grown now.
All good in the hood. Here's one. Mads was cool, but I feel like it was overhyped because it's a single take. You'll get that. I really enjoyed Mads. I thought it was a really fun concept, but you are going to get a lot of people who are going to say like it's transformative, it's incredible. I
Still need to see
said
that too.
I said
It's on,
like
it's on my queue.
it's a lot like you know, once you've seen like Birdman from a few years back, it's like they really nailed the one take thing. It's not like we haven't seen that before. It's a gimmick that gets brought back again and again. I thought they did a good job with it. I was more excited about the concept. I won't say what it is of what drives everybody crazy. So like that was more something I thought was pretty cool. So yeah, but you're going to get a lot of people glazing that one because of the one take, which, you know, it's impressive, it's cool, but tamper your expectations a little bit.
In a Violent Nature had that same one take sort of feel. I mean, it has
Mm-hmm.
limited cuts, you know, so
Yep.
that's a thing.
Yeah.
Are we going to talk about the thing with Kyle Edward Ball? Is that on the?
Yeah, it's on the
Great,
list. I have
great.
a bunch
I'll
of
save
stuff.
it
We
then.
can, if you guys want, we can dive right into
Well,
news
we're
here.
about
But
halfway
before
into the
we,
show, so
yeah, before we
Yeah.
do that, I do want to actually give Brian here a little bit of time to let us know a little bit about his channel and stuff. You
Yes.
know, as we do, sir. I just want to give you kind of free reign. Just let us know a little bit about your channel, a little bit about what you strive for when it comes to making horror content, and just kind of what some people who may not be familiar with it, what they can expect.
Oh yeah, sure. Well, kill count videos are my main jam, a good part of it. You know, I was just making content, whatever. Then like Halloween 2018, I made a video, kill count, first time I did it. Then boom, it blew up, and I go, well, let me keep doing this then. So I kept doing kill count videos about, you know, mainstream releases, and it was go good. Then the pandemic hit, nothing got you know, released for a long time, and yeah, it's always just trying to grow and evolve. I'm also doing like I double down on a lot of videos that do well too. Like now I'm just pumping out more Terrifier videos, more about theories, you know, like what's gonna happen with Jonathan, what's gonna happen with Gabby. I got some footage, so I'm trying to tell stories along with the footage too, and a lot of jokes. Or alternate deaths. I did a lot of videos about that. Those are really fun and exciting for me too. Like the alternate endings of Nightmare on Elm Street. Just some of the stuff that normal people like. If you're just getting into horror, like not aware that there's like three alternate endings for Nightmare or such. But um, yeah, that's pretty much. And always just trying to make new kill count videos about new releases. Or even now, I'm trying to even cut them up into parts because I can. Every time I'm getting age restricted and limited ads and all this shit. That's why it's like
are you blurring things?
I'm trying to, or I'm trying to do like a different editing technique. But I'm like,
Yeah.
all right, if I do a part one and then a part two, I'll put all the nasty stuff in part two. Maybe, you know, like try to find out what's the problem. Because
If you
YouTube don't
blur
tell you
any
the
like
problem.
gore, blood stuff, you'll be fine.
I've seen success with blurs. I've also seen what do you edit with, Brian? What software do you
Well,
use?
I use like Final Cut or smaller stuff,
Okay.
even like iMovie or whatever. Yeah.
So yeah, if you go into what I've had a lot of success with recently was just it's funny enough for gory stuff because for like 30 days of night, my video I just posted yesterday, I swore I was going to get like age restricted on the first upload just because like there's a couple scenes in that 30 days a night like clips that I use where there's a lot of gore, and like all I've been doing recently is driving the saturation all the way down to where it's
Yeah.
basically looks black and white,
Yeah.
and then I turn the vibrance all the way up. So the gore is like kind of this neon pinkish red,
Yeah.
and then everything else is black and white. And I don't think it knows
You're
what
probably
that
still
is.
risking like a manual thing though.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I you'll see
I just
like
play it safe. I heavily blur any gore in my videos.
and you'll see that with stuff that's like too over the top. Like for 100 Tears in my last brutal horror movies list, did both that and the blur. You just have to. But like for stuff where it's just like blood just shooting out of somebody's neck because like their vampire is biting them, I just wanted to see if I could get away with that a little bit, and it seems to work. So I
Well,
would say a mixture of all that seems to knock it out.
I've done experiments with every sort of thing too. And a lot of times it's even just my language. I'll take out all my dialogue and like upload a draft and then it goes okay. So I go, oh, it's what I'm saying is wrong. So if I say kill too many times, that's why I keep having to say unalive or whatever, grape, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Get you flagged anyway. So I don't
A
know.
lot of people were confused when I said PDF file when I was talking about a Serbian film.
Yeah.
they kept commenting, "What do you mean? Like, what are you saying?" And I'm like, it's YouTube slang. You got to learn it. Like,
Yeah.
All right.
So it's not as good as the olden days. The olden days we could show a lot more gore, everything. After Logan Paul and that dead body in the forest, they
he
cracked
ruined it.
down on everybody. Yeah.
Oh man, yeah, it's those big guys. They tend to they'll throw us all under the bus for shizzles. Let's see here. I definitely, again, if you guys are new here, if you are not subscribed to Slasher in Suits, please do yourselves a favor and do that. Always great content over there. I did drop the link in there. I know Graveyard Key had asked for it, so if you want to, it's right there. Yeah, so let's see here. We'll get into a little bit of news, though. We got a lot of stories, lots of fun stuff dropped today. Some stuff that obviously I put in the thumbnail. But I think we'll talk about this one first, just because I know, Brian, you had mentioned this was a good one, and I know you are also a massive Halloween fan. Evan is a Halloween enthusiast, and Halloween is just fine, I guess. Like, whatever. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. I love Halloween. We're all big fans. Yeah. What are we feeling? And I'll start with Brian here about Jamie Lee Curtis when she says "never say never" is her attitude to the Halloween franchise. How are we feeling about that? I know that's pretty generic, and a lot of people are kind of just looking into, her words and really just extrapolating ideas and stuff. But how would you feel about Laurie Strode making another return to the Halloween franchise?
I feel good about Dylan. Really good. We need her. We need these youngins, man. They all remember Halloween 6. You all remember Halloween 5. It's like they need her, and that could be a video game. That's all part of franchise. I mean, I don't know what's all this backlash about. She wants to do another Halloween. I mean, she doesn't have any other franchises or anything, and maybe we could get a crossover, right? We could get, if you're having Freddy versus Michael Myers, you need to put Laurie in there. Like maybe do a story and not revolve the whole thing around her.
No, that's good. That's good. I like that. Evan, you being somebody who's a big fan of Halloween Ends and how they wrapped up that story, how are you feeling about this news?
I don't need Laurie to come back for future Halloween films. I feel like it's a character that we've done so much with. I don't know how much more there is to explore with her. I'm not going to be upset if she comes back for another one. I'm a little confused because when Ends was coming out, Jamie Lee was very much like, I am done doing this. But you can never really trust when people say that. So I mean, we'll see what happens. I'm not sitting around now waiting for some imminent Halloween announcement about another reboot. I'm sure it's going to happen at some point. But I mean, you also think Halloween 4 is easily one of the best entries in the franchise, and she's not in that movie.
Yeah.
Are we talking about
I'll fight you on that one, Brian. I'm a big fan of
Halloween 4. I just rewatched
you don't like Halloween 4?
I will go it's getting a little bit overrated.
I love it. I think it's great. If Michael didn't look so fucking dumb.
Graveyard Key says that's the second best. Those are big words. Big words.
I think Halloween 4 is fantastic. I think the movie's awesome.
I like it a lot.
I also if they do it, I absolutely don't want them to make them siblings again because I was never a fan of the sibling connection between Michael and Laurie. So that was one of the things that I was glad about when the reboot trilogy started up, was that they did away with that. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, that's Graveyard Key brings up a great point, because I was just thinking about this, because I'm in a situation right now where I'm kind of just writing screenplays for fun, just for myself, and I was like, I should try writing or outlining a Halloween thing, and I was like, focus on Loomis. That's the fucking way to do it. Yeah, Cast a really good Loomis, and let's focus on him a little more.
Malcolm McDowell was an awesome Loomis. Besides part 2, then he had a heel turn.
I mean, it's not his fault, though. Malcolm McDowell, I like a lot. What?
Yeah.
We got to make sure Brandon's not here. You can't hear us talking shit about Halloween too. He's gone. I know.
Hey, but you know what? I also don't hate that movie. Cody and I were talking about that when we were on here.
Yeah.
Don't think it's as bad as people say it is. But yeah, I'd say focus on Loomis for it.
It would be nice. I would like to see somebody like them cast another actor as Loomis, because I think, yeah, especially in that first Rob Zombie's Halloween, he was great. But I think like if we could get another actor in there to just pick up the mantle, and it would be really cool to see him go with it.
Dreamcast. Who should play Loomis?
That's what I'm trying to think about right now.
Let's sit on that one for a minute, and then chat. Go ahead and throw in your Loomis casting choices. I want to see what everybody thinks. We also have Leanna says Laurie Strode come back, and I'll be the one of the with the generational trauma.
I don't think there's much more to do with the character. I don't need her to come back, but
Necro says make her the Shape. That could be fun.
I guess there was an early draft of the end script that kind of hinted at a sort of transference into Laurie, which I would not have liked. But
I want Corey to come back. Why can't Corey still be alive? Why can't Corey come back out of the morgue? Like,
I do think that I don't want.
chapter?
Part of the reason that Ends works for me is because they didn't make Corey replace Michael. Like there was still something special about Michael where he could survive things that most people can't.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you start giving Corey that kind of ability, it might take away a bit from it. Like I like how they wrapped it up. And that's one other thing. When they do inevitably continue this, I don't want a continuation of Green's trilogy. I think that was a great ending for it. I want them to just do something new.
Graveyard Key says we've never seen Corey's body, and then Artie has a good one.
Yes,
Jamie Lee Curtis as Numis. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
I love it. Yeah, I don't know. I think Graveyard Key is also an Ends fan, by the way. Brian, were you a fan of Ends?
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I liked Ends. I still like, even though people go like, oh, it's like a Christine thing, like a Christine remake. I go, Christine's awesome. Well, what's the big deal with that? Yeah.
I also find it really weird that people are like, oh, it's just a Christine remake and that makes it unoriginal. Christine is an adaptation of a novel. It's not an original story. So to try to criticize Halloween Ends for not being original because it's basically just a remake of Christine when Christine was an adaptation of a Stephen King novel is absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think that
And
I agree.
Part 4.
I agree with both of you when it comes to your thoughts on this Laurie Strode stuff. On one hand, I think we should at least explore what the franchise could be again without her. But I do agree with you, Brian. I think like having her be not a main character would be cool. Because like in my like when I broke down that unmade Halloween script from the guys who did the most recent Hellraiser, they talk about taking Michael out of Haddonfield and just letting him be like this kind of like almost this urban legend that is going all across the United States. And he just comes up every few Halloweens, murders some people, and it's like he's just a ghost in the night. And I thought of a great follow-up would be is like if you had like a reporter or a detective or somebody who's trying to go through all these murders, and he comes back at one point, maybe like at the end of the second act, and he talks to Laurie Strode, like who's older, she's moved on and everything, but that's the most we get out of it. You know, like it'd be great to see her return in that sense. But yeah, I mean, like I would love to really see, you know, her kind of get a little bit of a break, but I would not be opposed to seeing her come back either. You know, it just depends on how they do it. Ultimately, it's the director and the writing, like how they decide to bring her back is what is ultimately going to matter.
Halloween versus Scream? Halloween 100% of the time.
Oh, what's up, Davey? What's going on,
Davey,
my friend?
what's up, buddy?
Ray's in the chat, everybody. What's happening there? Yes, Halloween versus Scream. Let's do it.
Yeah, those two bit of the biggest costumes this year. I think it was a lot of Michael Myers, a lot of ghost faces.
I saw a lot of Art the Clowns too.
Art's definitely.
There was there was like a 7-year-old kid who saw my Art the Clown T-shirt that I was wearing, and he was like, "The Terrifier," and he goes, "Don't eat me." So yeah, and you know what? That's kind of beautiful to me because I can tell what's happening is that same sort of thing that happens when you're a kid and you're hearing about these new crazy gory horror movies that are coming out. No one's allowed to see them, and then there are people spreading rumors about shit that's happening. I was like, "Don't." And they're just making up whatever. Exactly. Oh, yeah. So he said that, and I was like, "I know what's going on, and I love
rumors
it."
on the playground, baby. That's what it is.
Yep.
We talked about Strangers. That was what happened to me with the Strangers.
Yeah, I remember you saying that.
On the playground, people were just saying how like it was based off a real story and all these people actually got murdered, and it's like, you know, it's fucking wild. There's a couple of good people here with Jack Quaid as Dr. Loomis. Could be
Hey,
interesting. Maybe if it
young,
was more of
like
a
we're going to
prequel.
the 70s. Yeah, like a
That's what I was going to say. More
prequel-y
of a
sort of
prequel
thing.
kind of thing leading up to it. Matthew Lillard as Loomis would be interesting.
He's
I
a
won't
genre guy
shit on that.
though. Yeah.
I think he's
Yeah.
too synonymous with Stu,
Yeah.
unfortunately, even though it's one movie. But I do not discount Matthew Lillard as an actor. The guy definitely has range. I'd love to see him do
Willem Dafoe.
Oh my god, put him in everything.
That's the easy one.
Me and my cousin, I was in the car with him yesterday, and we were both just like, just put Willem Dafoe in every movie. I'll be happy.
Definitely.
Yeah,
What about Ralph Fiennes?
Oh, not bad.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely
He
not
could be
bad.
good.
I think
That'd
he
be
would
dope.
definitely be solid. I mean, he's
Yeah.
great in a lot of the things he does. And let's see here. I'm trying to think. There was someone that was just on the tip of my tongue. I'd love to see. I know there's a good, solid group of actors, especially recently. Let me see here.
Harrison Ford as Loomis.
There you
He's
go.
already grumpy and angry.
Yeah, it could
That's-
work
yeah,
perfectly.
Fits like a glove.
There it is.
If he wasn't like aged to the point that he didn't want to be acting anymore, Robert Englund, I think, could have been fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, he did kind of just play that in Behind the Mask, so it's fine.
Ah, fuck
get
it. Let's
that.
do Matthew McConaughey.
Paul Giamatti, ball too. You hear? Yeah.
Yo, actually,
bald.
yes. Paul
Damn.
Giamatti. Yeah, that would actually be great.
That would.
He
yeah,
would
that's
fucking
good.
crush right there.
Mm.
Yes. Jeffrey Wright is also a good one too. I mean, definitely like I know you're going to get a certain subsect of people who are going to freak out about that, but I would love that. He crushed as Commissioner Gordon in the Batman, in my opinion. Love that interpretation. Great actor. Let's see. I know some people were joking around that Liam Neeson would be a goofy one. I actually, the one that comes to mind from that one for me, just because they were both in Batman, I always think about it, would be I think Christian Bale could do a good one.
Yeah.
Just because he is getting up there, and I think he could be a very interesting take on it.
Tom Hardy.
I love all those ideas.
Yeah.
Jason Alexander's not a bad pick.
There's so many options.
There's so many, yeah.
It's
Or
the
they would do
summer
a
of
different
Loomis.
take, like what they were doing with Halloween too. Like
Yep.
I don't know what you could do.
Already says Jerry Seinfeld. Let's go with that.
Jerry Seinfeld.
What's
What?
the deal with Michael?
The
I love
eyes, the blackest eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Kane
That's
Hodder.
great. Kane Hodder. Well, I mean, sure, I guess. Let's see what else we got up on the docket here. I know I'll bring up Godzilla later. Let's jump into something here. You want to talk about Kyle Edward Ball's new flick?
Oh my God, do I ever? Yeah.
All right. Do you remember enough of it, or do you need me to pull the article real quick? Because
Oh, no,
I just remember the. All right, you can go ahead and lead us into it then,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. So Kyle Edward Ball, the lad behind Skinamarink, is signed on to do another movie. Bigger budget movie. He's getting more resources allocated to him this time around because he's partnering up with A24, which is not surprising. I think that after Skinamarink, you can guess that A24 was probably going to try to partner up with him. And it's called The Land of Nod. Now we don't know much about it yet, but the Land of Nod is basically in the Bible where Cain was banished to after killing Abel. And it's this Nod in Hebrew translates to wandering. So it's a land of wandering, basically.
Oh.
Which certainly makes sense when you look at what Kyle Edward Ball did with Skinamarink, that kind of like, dreamy, strange, slow-paced thing. The Land of Wandering sounds very in line with the kind of thing he would do. I'm, of course, very, very, very excited. I loved Skinamarink. I think I put it at my number one spot when I ranked the movies from 2023. I like that,
You did.
that movie. That movie really worked for me. So I'm excited to see what he does next. And it
Yeah,
sounds-
I'm
sounds right up
certainly
my
with you
alley,
on
yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
I'm very excited about this. I think that he's definitely one of the most aggressive voices we've had recently when it comes to just like breaking out on the scene and having something that is just so ballsy and so polarizing as Skinamarink was.
Totally.
I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's just one of those films that I will never forget the theatrical experience. And seriously,
I
it's one of
really
those.
wish it played in theaters near me.
It's one of those movies that I feel like if I'm ever going to rewatch it, I always and I know some people will say this is bullshit. I put it on my phone, I put headphones in, and I just sit there and I watch it in complete darkness. And it's like if you can get as close to 3 a.m. as possible,
You have
just
to
throw
watch
it on
it
and
in the
just,
dark, and if you can make the house dead quiet, that's the way to do it.
that's what I'm saying. Do headphones, turn it up
Yep.
all the way, and go
Yep.
for it.
Phone in another room.
Just like playing a video game, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. It's just one of those. It'll get you, especially with a nice set of headphones.
Oh, dude.
It's perfect. All the soundscape, everything. Brian, have you seen Skinamarink?
Yeah, of course I did. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Not a huge fan, but it's an inspirational story. You always get these stories every couple of years with somebody making a very popular horror movie off a dirt budget.
It was $15,000.
Yeah, like nothing. And you're like, wow. It's just, and he came from YouTube, and his story is very inspirational. And yeah, I hope he knocks out of the park on the next one.
Mm-hmm. They don't go into it much here, but I am again hoping that this will kind of be a little bit more of a straightforward kind of narrative focused story as opposed to what Skinamarink was. Because I think like he's a talented enough filmmaker. I'd love to see what he does with more of a not saying it has to be traditional. He can still have experimental elements to it. I would expect nothing less.
It's going to be weird, and that's what I want.
Yeah. It's just I want it to be a little bit more, I guess, accessible for people, so that way they'll kind of not just write him off completely as the weird guy. You know what I mean?
I should get Cody on to talk about
characters.
Yeah, there's a few people we could definitely have on to have a debate about Skinamarink. They would love it. I know that Mike from We Watched the Movie is also one of those who just vehemently hated that movie.
That does not surprise me. I like them a lot. They have a very fun channel.
I love them. I've been watching them for just as long as I think I've been watching. Like,
we should try to get them on sometime. That'd be fun.
I'd love to have Mike and Jay on. I'd be honestly so fanboy. It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Because again, I've been watching them since like I was in junior high. I think when I first found their channel, like young. It was stupid. It was dumb, but. Yeah, I'm excited for that one. I think that anything that Kyle Edward Ball wants to do next, I'm certainly here for. He's got me with one. Yeah. If this one comes out and isn't my cup of tea, then maybe we'll reassess. But I highly doubt it. I think that he's just got again that aggressive, kind of interesting, different voice to him. That I'm real excited to see what the guy does.
Long overdue for a rewatch on that movie.
I just watched it not too long ago, before October. Actually, I sat down, and it's.
I am
still
planning to do a
up.
video on it next year. I had a bunch of people ask about that, especially after Lake Mungo.
There you go.
Or everybody had the same review where they were showing stupid things in their corner and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was the thing. I was like, I was gonna do that, but everybody did that.
That's the one thing I'm wondering about. Like for the video essay, when I'm using footage, obviously so much of the movie is just like stagnant shots of blurry hallways. So like that's gonna be my video.
Yeah. You get copyright claim. Like,
I'm getting claimed for this shit. Are you kidding me?
That's why I had literally like the little rotary phone guy. That's why I have him in my background, is from that movie. I borrowed one from my sister-in-law who had one, just because when we would go over there and visit, it would just be in the kids' toys. And I was like, after I saw that movie, can I have this in my background? And I was like, can I just buy it off you? And she's like, well, it's like kind of a family heirloom thing. It's one of those toys we've had from like ages ago.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I can't do that. But she went, and like a few months later, she was at like a flea market and found one, and was just perfect. Like, here you go. So I was like, awesome, dude. Fuck yeah. So
Scary Movie 6 definitely gotta make fun of Skinamarink. So.
Oh yeah.
Oh hell yeah. We can talk a little bit about that. I thought that was a complete surprise.
Yeah.
I know that they had been rumored for many entries to have the Wayans brothers come back and actually get involved with one of these, but the fact that it's actually happening,
I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
That is like the best news for that franchise that we could have had in so long. I am so like, I've not been excited for one of these movies like probably since like 4, and that was just because I like the first 3 so much.
Yeah.
But like I am so excited to
I
see
even
what
love
they
the
do.
haunted house. I thought those
Oh,
were
I
fun.
love the haunted house.
Yeah.
I like both of them.
Yeah, those movies
they
were super
crushed it.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely they didn't necessarily scratch that itch for me entirely. Again, I was a cynical teenager at the time when they
Yeah,
came
you're a
out, but
cranky, crabby
I
bastard. That's
definitely
what you
I was a
You're a
crabby
crabby old
dude.
man in there.
But I can tell you what I on rewatches of those over the years, it's definitely something that I can appreciate more. But this, I mean, I think that they hopefully they can kind of bring back the elements that they kind of were missing from those later entries, and really find a way that's not just again just parodying things. They had a lot of great humor and
Oh,
everything
yeah.
that was in those original two, especially. So I hope they can come back with it and hit real hard.
Or Marlon's definitely back. He posted the pic, but Sean too. You're like, oh, once they
Yeah.
both work together again,
Yeah.
that'd be so
Mm-hmm.
fun.
I
Yeah,
love the
'cause
Wayans brothers.
Oh yeah, the
didn't
show was
he
cool.
didn't
Yeah.
Sean direct the first two?
Keenan,
so.
the older
Keenan
brother.
did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dude, fucking Don't Be a Menace. I remember seeing that for the
Oh,
first time. I
shit.
lost my mind. The shit that Marlon had in his hair, that whole movie, like it was like a little mini game to check what was new in his hair every scene. That movie was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I
Oh, I
mean,
love
there's
that one.
so much that these guys did just like as a group. Like they really did like own the 90s with some of their stuff. I always forget they did the screenplays for like White Chicks and everything, which that's another one that like anytime that movie's on, I always watch it.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, that's right. Okay, hey, hell yeah. Let's see. Yeah, so far they haven't announced it if they're on board or not, but
Okay.
yeah, I'm definitely I'm optimistic. I think this one looks like it could be a winner, certainly. I
Because
think
what
what
3 and 4 were done by the Naked Gun guy, right? The Naked Gun director.
I
5 wasn't. 5 was really bad. So
Yeah.
basically, to me, they only made one really bad one. So
yeah, I don't mind 3. I think 3 is pretty funny. It's still got some of that energy. Ty actually brings up a good point. I heard Melissa Barrera wants to be in Scary Movie 7, so that's awesome.
Yes.
Or 6, my bad, 6.
That would be funny.
David Zucker, they said, is the one who directed those. I really want to see them like kind of attack this reboot, like the requel trend. You know how they did with Scream like a few years ago? Like actually, because
They're going to.
I made a joke about that when we were covering Scream 5 about how it almost feels at times a little bit more like a more serious scary movie with how they tackle the requel thing. So I think they're going to definitely tackle that. Like you said, Skinamarink would be one that would be awesome. You know that they're going to tackle Art the Clown. You know that they're going to have some kind of a play on that. God, what other movies do you think they're going to handle? Probably Exorcist. They'll probably touch on Exorcist Believer
it's
a little
just been
bit.
so long since the last one. So of course, it's
There
like
really
they've
is
got
just
15
so
years
much
to
they
make
could
up.
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could really go down the list and just see what's up. Just for our Pooniverse fans, we should probably talk about. Did you guys see the images for Pinocchio Unstrung?
Yeah, I'm impressed.
The animatronic for Pinocchio is
I'm very
very
impressed.
good. Like it looks awesome. Brian, are you keeping up on any of this?
Oh, I did not see that. I just heard they cast Robert England and
Yes,
who,
yeah.
Richard Brake or
Richard
something.
Brake.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
yep. Yeah, Richard Brake is playing Geppetto, I guess, in this
yeah.
one.
Oh shit.
And I forget, did they say Robert England? Is he playing the cricket?
I think so, yeah.
So
Gemini.
he's voicing Jiminy.
Yeah. Which I only know the character name of because I'm playing Lies of P again right now.
Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'll boop this in here for you, Brian, so you can take a look at what they're doing with this. Yeah, this one. I mean, each one of these just gets bigger and better. But like this is
It's impressive.
kind of what we're dealing with. This is just one of the kind of glamour shots they have of it. But yeah, here's some of the set photos and things they've already shown off for it. It's a little dark.
Richard Brake as Geppetto is such a good
It is.
decision.
I mean, I think that Richard Brake is one of those actors that's just so underrated. Like he's like seriously, like the dude could win an Oscar at some point down the road if you just give him the right role. Because he's
so good.
he locks in so hard on some of his characters. Like if you guys still haven't seen Last Stop in Yuma County, he is fantastic in that
That's
movie.
awesome.
Haven't seen it yet.
Talk about movies that feel like Tarantino films slightly. Like that's definitely one of them. He's so well written in that. But yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find the video.
It's sort of like a crime that he's in Strangers Chapter 1, and I don't even think he has a speaking role.
He doesn't. They show like a wide shot of him sitting at a table. And
Oh
that's it.
yeah, I can do Richard Brake from Strangers Chapter 1. Hold on.
Yeah. Yep.
That's it.
That's the whole scene. That's the whole scene.
He didn't do shit.
Yes.
And
yes.
we didn't see him in the trailer either for Chapter 2. I go like,
Oh no,
well,
we
what
do.
the hell?
We
Oh,
do.
Did we?
For
I
a
gotta
brief
watch the
snippet,
trailer
he's
again.
driving by in the car with somebody.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Bambi the Reckoning is still coming. I know a lot of their list got pushed back a little bit because they were working on some reshoots and things. I know Bambi was supposed to come out this winter, I think like February, because Neverland was supposed to be out in October, but now Neverland is coming out in the spring or like February to March-ish, and then Bambi will be out right after that. So we're still getting those. And then let's see. Oh yeah, Richard Brake as Freddy. Definitely very solid. He would do an excellent
make a great
job.
Freddy, dude. Come on, just give it anybody. I don't care at this point. Give it anybody could be Freddy. I don't care. Gender swap it. I don't care. Freddy, anything.
I'm so not opposed to that, honestly. Like I think that would be a really interesting take. I know so many people would be up in arms about that, which I think is dumb. But like I really think that could be a very, very neat take to see more like what a sadistic female Freddy would look like.
Yeah,
you know,
teacher who slept with the students and stuff.
Yeah, like that's the kind of shit I'm talking about. Like it's like she just get real gross with it. I'm Gonna Get You Sucker is a classic. Yes, no, that's What's Up, Dad? How's it going? This is my father, by the way. He's a big supporter of the channels. Yeah, definitely love the Wayans brothers, a lot of their stuff there. But yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Pinocchio. I think that's shaping up to be very, very interesting. We do know a little bit about the film. I've been told some things about it, and I'm very excited to see them come to fruition because there's a chance that Pinocchio could be the goriest one they've done yet. That's all I'll say. There is some subject matter in there that is very intense. So there's that. Well, I would like to, I'm going to pull card here real quick and take over on this because we got some news today that is very interesting to me. And I know our mutual friend of all three of us, Jake, is very vocal about this one. I'm very curious. I got to text him about it. But we are getting a remake-ish, sequel, requel, whatever you want to call it, a film set in the same universe as David Cronenberg's The Fly.
But
we are, yes.
Breaking news?
Yep, about 7 hours ago. They MGM announced that they are making they're venturing into the world of David Cronenberg's The Fly. Deadline reports this afternoon. Now I don't know. I'm a piece of shit. I don't know how to say her name. Nikiatu Jusu, I believe, is handling the upcoming installment in the body horror franchise based on David Cronenberg's masterwork, being positioned as not a remake of Cronenberg's memorable upgrade to the 50s movie, but rather a new movie that is set in the universe of the 1986 body horror masterpiece. So it's kind of like a requel-ish, so it's kind of like taking place in the same world.
That they have transporters or something. They do
maybe
something with that.
I don't know. I don't know what this could mean. If it could just be another body horror film that they're setting in the same world. But I feel like if you're going to go that far into it, like it has to have something to do with The Fly. Like it won't just be like we're just in the same world as it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Artie says we've already seen The Fly too. Yes, very good point. Very good. Yeah, I also heard this, Mew. This was something that I heard. I didn't look too deep into it, so I can't say for certain how I feel about it, but I certainly will be diving into that. Yes, I've heard that she is very pro AI, which is kind of strange. So, not the biggest on that.
And The Fly that seems like it would fall flat too. It's like The Crow, like it doesn't have that big of an audience. I think like it's regarded as a classic, but it's been about 40 years or something, right? Like,
It's been a while. I
yeah,
certainly think that yeah, 86, yes, it's getting up there. I I love The Fly. I grew up watching that. That and The Fly 2 are two horror movies I adore. But it is one of those things where yeah, it is kind of like you got to kind of know people who know those movies. You know, horror
yeah,
fans know those movies, but like general audiences, I feel like not as many people are there. I wonder if this is anything to do with the substance that got this thing rolling,
yeah,
because
yeah,
the
right.
substance is so body horror heavy and the love that that film has gotten. I wonder if this kind of motivated them to go down this rabbit hole with it, which I'm all for. I think it's cool, especially if you're setting yourself to say that it does, it's not a remake, which I think is a good call on that front. But it is weird the way they're trying to word it. It almost feels like they're trying to kind of scapegoat it just in case if it's not what they're hoping it'll be. I don't know. Let's see. Ty says attaching itself to The Fly doesn't mean anything. Might as well remake it. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind of how I'm feeling. I mean, don't remake it, but make more sense than in the Fly universe. Yeah, it's very strange how that's all worded to me. Evan, why have you not seen The Fly?
Uh, it
We've
harkens
never
back
even
to what
talked
I was
about it.
just talking about. It was a sci-fi thing.
So.
Sci-fi was not a mainstay. Um, that's all it comes down to. I still
Do
need to
well,
better.
it's
watch it.
really a romance, right?
It
Right,
is.
So
It
right,
is.
yeah,
It is. It has a
right.
lot more in common with you would actually I think really love it because it does have a lot more in common with like a gothic romance film than it
Yeah,
does like a I mean there's definitely sci-fi and there's body horror for sure, but
yeah. I
it
like
gets
body
into that
horror,
kind of
but
the monster takes the woman away and
yeah,
yeah,
great.
I love it.
Dylan, you'll be glad to know because you did chastise me about this a while back, having previously never seen the Blob. I just picked it up on Blu-ray.
Oh, the 88
Um,
one?
yeah,
Hell
yeah. It's on
yeah.
Peacock right now. Yeah.
I just got the Scream Factory 4K. I found it at Sunrise Records, so
Fuck yeah.
I'll be giving that a watch.
Definitely do. Let me know what you
And
think
Citizen
because
Kane. I bought the Blob and Citizen Kane.
oh, I forgot to mention you saw this one not too long ago, but my Halloween horror movie of the year was People Under the Stairs. I finally seen it.
What'd you
Very good.
think?
I enjoyed it. Wild,
Run,
wild fucking
fool!
You see
movie.
why Luke likes People Under the Stairs now, right?
I get it. Lots of
Yeah,
gimp suits and fun
it's just
stuff.
because of the gimp suits.
But no, that movie is wild. That was definitely something I enjoyed my time with it. It was it doesn't feel like a Wes Craven movie,
It's so
which is
weird.
very weird. It's so its own kind of tone and everything. It feels ripe for like a I know that they're talking about Jordan Peele's like his company is doing like a remake of it or something. It feels like it
Yeah.
would be ripe for his kind of his touch to that material.
I Jordan Peele makes phenomenal movies. I'm not personally like in on his stuff. Like it hasn't grabbed me. But like you want to talk about a movie that would fit his kind of filmmaking, that movie he could absolutely tackle that property.
Hmm.
He would do that so well.
Who doesn't like a good suit every now and then?
It's true.
Absolutely. Craven's earlier years are interesting. I'm excited for Peele's take. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I think it's going to be something rather interesting. So we'll have to see on that, and we'll also have to wait and see on what this Fly movie exactly is. But what else we got going on here, guys? I'll throw a couple of. Does anybody in the chat have any suggestions on what they want us to talk about news-wise? Any
They're ramping up
recommendations?
Nosferatu's marketing quite a bit. They're starting
Yes,
to
they
push
are.
that quite heavily now. They have these
Anything
coffins.
anything that sticks out to you, Brian, over the last couple of days, or I'll just start mentioning a
I
couple
think
of
they.
stories I had
Oh,
here.
I think they just mentioned the Orphan is going to get another one, a third one.
Yes.
So
Yes, that was on my
not
list
maybe.
here.
Oh, and she tweeted out she was that character for Halloween. So many people are their own characters for Halloween. Like Florence Pugh was Midsummer, and yeah. So Maybe it's marketing, but yeah, I'm excited for that one. Part 1 and part 2 is even probably better than part 1.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I have not seen Orphan First Kill yet, but
No,
Luke
nor have
watched
I.
it. Luke loved it. He said it was great. He watched it to kind of wrap up our, what was that, 2022 when that came out,
I
or
think yeah, like
2023?
2 years ago, it feels like. Yeah.
Sounds right.
Yeah, he had said that that was one of the big surprises for him. He thought that it was just going to be like a very mid, late to the punch kind of sequel prequel type thing. And yeah, no, he said he loved it. A gender swapped orphan movie wouldn't go too well, I reckon. Oh, we'll have to see on that one.
What? Well, a little boy tried to sleep with the mom.
That's the
What's up?
oh
Right?
yeah,
The first one?
that
Yeah.
would be a little
Midsommar too.
little. We should expect Midsummer 2, Midsummer Takes Manhattan. I'm all for it. Already
Did we
comes up with
talk
the best
about the
titles, man.
director's cut of Midsummer?
We did
Hmm.
recently. At least you and I did recently. Yeah, you said it didn't add a much for you. It was.
No,
It was.
I
It
love
was.
that movie. That's probably my favorite Ari Aster movie.
I would agree. That's my
Yeah.
favorite as well.
Yeah,
Oh.
but it.
I think
No,
he
the
had
director's cut
like a
didn't have much.
nighttime scene, right?
Yeah, there was that. There was the river scene.
It's just like they're kind of over explaining things that are already present in the theatrical cut.
Yeah.
It doesn't really add much like material.
Yeah, I think it's fine. It's one of
It was
those. It's
interesting.
one of those director's cuts that I don't necessarily need to watch because, like, you know, when you'll get like a director's cut of something and then that just becomes the definitive version.
Doctor Sleep. I'm never watching the theatrical version again.
Good call on that. Yeah, that's one of those ones that it definitely improves it. I think Midsummer is like, it's fun if you really love it and you want to see what's different
probably
about it,
won't
but it's
reach
not a
for it.
necessity.
No.
Not a necessity. But yeah, as far as the orphan films go, I really need to come back and revisit them. They're very much in that same category as like The Strangers for me, where it's been a long time. Again, I haven't seen the sequel, but I know that the first one was one that I saw ages ago on AMC Fear Fest. And yeah, so but Brian, you're a fan of these ones?
Yeah. Oh man, my light's giving out on me. I'll just turn out the lights.
We'll be
and
wrapping up
get-
soon anyway. You're
Get
fine.
rid of this whole green shit. All right, bye.
Hey, it's okay, man. You can go green. But yeah, Evan, have you seen the orphan films?
Yeah, I saw. Well, I saw the first one many years ago. It's been a very long time since I've seen it. Haven't gotten around to the second one yet, but I should revisit the original before I do.
Yeah, definitely. I think this will motivate me enough, especially, you know, being more in tune with it to go and I'll rewatch these once we get close to this third one coming out. Even Ty says the Orphan First Kill is actually pretty good. So, and that's what I've heard. I've heard nothing but really positive things. It was kind of one of those films that I think kind of caught everybody off guard with just how good it was. And I think they're bringing back the same writer and director from the last one. Yes, they are. So the writer from First Kill and the director of First Kill are coming back to do this one. So
It came out at a weird time too. I think like October of 2022, which is probably one of the best years in horror or best months in horror movie history.
it was insane. That September to October, like those
Yeah.
2 months were
2022 in general was
crazy.
absurd.
Yeah, crazy.
I think
mean, we
this
had-
year for me may have surpassed it. But,
Yeah, maybe. And Smile 2 was awesome. It's like the number
Yeah.
3 movie, and I don't see enough videos talking about it. I think like it just was like a week. Yeah, yeah. Pump out
No,
more.
I mean, I
videos
didn't like
about
it very
Smile
much.
2.
I
Oh,
liked
really?
it. I liked
I
it.
enjoyed Smile
I had
2
fun
a
with
lot.
it.
I thought it was very surprising.
I had fun with it, but people were talking about it like it was like the greatest horror movie of the year, and I went in and I was like, it was fun.
Nobody
but
ever said that, Evan. We just said it was good. You're the one
I'm
that
not talking about
overhyped.
you.
Better than the first. I heard a lot of that.
See, and that
I
I
would
don't
agree
agree
with
with
that.
that. I don't agree with that at all.
And that's
But
what
I'm
it
glad
is,
for the
man.
people who like it.
Or she
that-
should win an Oscar. She should be nominated. Naomi Scott. I go, oh, okay. I heard
She
a lot of that.
definitely is one of those. Again, we're talking about this year being like a year for standout actresses. That is another performance that I think is very strong this year. She definitely owned Smile 2. Like, that was crazy. I honestly think that movie would have probably landed bigger had The Substance not come out a couple months before it. Because, like, once you get into the third act of that movie, it's not like they're similar, but you have a lot of the same tones with like her dealing with fame and having the kind of pressure that she has on it and stuff. It's very, very like kind of the DNAs can be kind of crossed there.
Oh, I just love curse movies though. That and It Follows is getting a sequel
It
too.
Follows is
Oh
so
yeah,
good.
I
It
know, I
Follows.
just love it.
I'm excited for They Follow. I'm a little like iffy because I thought the ending, like the open-ended nature of It Follows, was so good. Like that last shot where they're walking and there's that person behind them, and you're like, is it just a guy walking, or is it? I love
think
that ending. So
I think it'll make it so that way, even if say this one comes out and it's not great, it won't hurt the first film because
No.
they leave it
No.
open-ended.
that first movie is so good.
Can I admit something to you guys? I don't know if I've said this on anything yet, but when I first saw It Follows, I didn't like it. Walked out of the theater, I was like, that
The
movie was
hell you
weird.
say?
I didn't like that movie. I thought it was crap.
He beast out. He's like, no, I can't
You go
do
fuck
this.
yourself, Dylan. That's what you. Call it.
I grew to it. It was one of those things where like I had just heard so much praise after I'd seen it and everything, and I was just like, I don't get it. So it's like you don't like a movie, but everybody loves it so much that you're just like, did I miss something?
Yeah,
And I
like
went back and I
Smile, too.
rewatched it. Okay, but I went back and I rewatched it, and I was like, okay, I can appreciate it. And then I just would get like the hankering every once in a while to just put that movie on. And then just over the years, I've just become such an It Follows fan. Like it is one of the few movies that has Graveyard Key by Dylan unsubbed. Oh, come on,
Guess what?
man.
We're not going to be following Splattercast. I'll tell you that much right now.
I will say it was one of the very few movies that like went from basically being like a 0 out of 10 to me to like a 10 out of 10 over the years.
0?
Okay, it wouldn't have been a
Wow,
0. It wouldn't have been a
0.
0. It was just one of those ones where it was like the first time I saw it, like it was just such an odd experience. Like I was just, I don't know, the vibes weren't there. I went to a theater I don't normally go to with a friend of mine, and like it was like this rinky-dink kind of rundown movie theater. And we just went in there, and like everybody was being really strange when we went and saw it. You'd think it would add to the atmosphere. We walked out of there and we're just like, no, that was too weird. Just the naked people up on the roof and stuff like that. It's just like, no, I'm not feeling
That's
it.
my thing.
Yeah, right. But no,
Right.
dude, as time went on, it's just like something kept drawing me back to it, and I just like it slowly but surely became a film that I don't know why I felt the way that I felt the
I
first
saw
time.
it with a girlfriend I was dating at the time, and I loved it, and she hated it, and it eventually led to our breakup. I couldn't be with somebody
Oh my
yeah.
god.
who
Yeah,
did
and
like
Dylan,
It
I've
Follows
actually been
so
meaning to
much.
talk to you about that. We're
What?
we're done. We're done.
Am I getting
Because-
kicked off the
Oh
show?
no!
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
No.
No, because he didn't like It Follows.
All
when
right.
it
You know
came
what?
out.
You and Alex have fun setting this up every 2 weeks. Then you know what? That's
I'm just
fine.
gonna talk to him about Nosferatu.
Oh,
And
every
it's
episode.
Terrifier 3 and drive him crazy. Never talk about 4. It's just always Terrifier 3.
Yeah.
We have a little bit of a running gag on here, Brian, where
Mm.
Alex likes, I guess he's all right with the Terrifier movies,
Mm.
but like Evan and I, every time there was news about 3, which was basically every show,
Yeah.
we had to talk about it. Like we were just big fans, and Alex never had anything to contribute, so he was just like behind the scenes, like, why do we have to keep talking about this? Like he's like, it's just a poster, guys. Like, what does it matter? It's like,
Oh my god, dude! It's the biggest movie. It's one.
That was the thing.
What?
You had to cover it.
You had to.
hey, it's just not indie enough for Alex. That's all.
That's
I'll
like
say.
saying Halloween. Like, no, we're not we're a horror channel, but we're not covering Halloween. I'm just over it. We're like, what?
Yeah,
No.
fuck Halloween. We're not doing any of that.
Yeah.
Terrifier 3 does get a weird amount of hate. Like there are still people who are like, there's no story in this franchise. I'm like, what movies are you watching?
I have been thinking about doing a video. I mentioned it to Luke, and he said, he was of two minds for it, where he thought maybe this would be like overdoing it and kind of going over points, because I keep getting comments from people who are just like, why do you like this? Like, why
Yeah.
do you even want to support a movie like this? So I thought about doing like 5 reasons why you should support Terrifier 3 or why you should give it a chance.
Hmm.
And like he kind of swayed me off of that one, but I keep getting comments about it, and I just don't know if like people would even want to hear that, because like I was gonna go through like just how the film, even how it started off as a tiny little production, and watching the same team who like bucked the system, said no, we're not going to sell
It's
the
such
rights
a beautiful
to it.
success story.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
The fact that it pushes the envelopes, but it's pushes the envelope, it walks right to the line. And I was gonna say, it's like it does things, it definitely goes places that are dark and twisted and gory, but like it still does it oddly enough in a respectful manner, because like me and Cody talked about that in the spoiler review, where it's like, yeah, it's like
they really good balance.
Yeah, you could have really just shown children being chopped up and stuff, but you saw the aftermath. There was enough there to affect it.
Fucking the 2017 It has more graphic child violence than
Yeah.
Terrifier 3 does.
And like I just had a couple of reasons I thought about talking about it. So, but every day I get comments on that video of just people being like, "Why do you like this?" And it's just 3 paragraphs worth of just like ripping me apart, and I'm just like,
fine.
I might need to do it. Like I might just need to get it off my chest.
I'm gonna make my video about it in December, and I'll get all my thoughts out then.
There you go.
Yeah.
Vent it out.
I don't see all the hate for Terrifier 3. I thought unanimous, like everybody loves that movie. It feels like I don't see no hate.
I think it's just like the kind of people that you attract to it. Like there's when you have videos, like I mean you've seen it. You have like your Terrifier 3. One of your videos is like 275,000 views. I'm sure you have people commenting in there who are like, "Oh, this is just decrepit. This is gross. It's
so weird that people are
porn.
criticizing horror for being too violent." It's like, guys, what the fuck? You're in the wrong genre right now.
Well, it's a thing where it's like my girlfriend, she loves Scream. That's her favorite franchise, but she cannot handle Terrifier. Like it's just.
But I mean, I have
extreme for most people.
This guy's been commenting on every video I've put up about it, where he hates. He hates Terrifier and says it's too gory and it's like messed up, and his profile picture is Jigsaw. Yeah, his name has like a Jigsaw reference in it, so I'm like,
yeah, I
like, where is the disconnect? Why are we singling out this franchise? Doesn't make sense.
It blows my mind too. I definitely, I don't know. I might have to do that video now, because I do. I have a lot to say on this. I think it's just one of those things where I feel like it's also a movie that's kind of it. You can tell when somebody hasn't seen it when they're commenting on it and they're talking about it, because they're just literally like telling you things that just don't happen.
Yeah, I had so many of those.
Like there's literally people saying like a movie where he chops up kids and you watch him chop them up and everything. It's like, no.
I saw one where someone was talking about art forcing people into sexual acts.
Oh, yeah, I was like, too. Yeah.
What?
Yeah, which one? Did you watch the porn parody or something?
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about?
Damn. Could you imagine Art the Clown, the porn, or Terrifier?
And for the record, they clarified that he's asexual. So let's be very clear about that.
He got grabbed in the nuts.
Yeah.
He
so
did. That's about as close as he got.
That's he's vulnerable. That's
and it's like I talk about how like in one of my videos I mentioned just how like goofy and fun those movies are, and somebody said that I was fucked up for saying that, and I'm like, dude,
they totally
the climax of this movie is like the darkest that we've probably gotten out of all 3 of these movies so far. Just like when you're talking about characters you care about and just what's going on, and Art the Clown is still walking by Sienna like 3 times, smacks her in the back of the head, and it's goofy as fuck. Like it's like it's literally, again, it's like we walk.
I mean,
right
how can you watch
line.
that scene in the bar and not think that it's goofy?
Oh my god, the bar scene is my favorite. Still my favorite scene in the movie. Like it is so fucking funny.
I know, that's what I was worried about, because Damien said, "Oh, we're going back to the mean-spiritedness of it." I was like, "Damn, dude, I like Art being funny." You know, like I like him putting on the glasses. I like him pancake slapping her. I thought
3 is just the best of everything they've done in the franchise.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Should we go over some other things, because we're probably wrapping up pretty soon?
Oh
We should try and.
Thank you, Paula. We love you too. Appreciate you. I just wanted to highlight a couple of these too real quick. I don't get the Terrifier 3 hate where people are saying Damien is misogynistic. Like, he killed men in all of his films and children in All Hallows Eve. Like, he cut a guy's dick off in
The
Terrifier
shower
2.
scene was such a fuck you to those comments.
Right? Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Just the newbies, I'm guessing, who are new to the franchise. That's what it has to be.
Yeah.
Michael has killed kids. Freddy does it in does it for a living, and Chucky literally tries to kill a kid to possess a young
Yeah,
child.
the
Yeah,
whole
very,
plot of
very
Child's
fair.
Play is
Yeah,
him
I don't
trying to
think
kill a
there's one
child.
slasher who's never tried to kill a kid or tried to. So, like Chucky's always tried. Yeah, I think they all have. Freddy was a child murderer. That predates his Dream Demon days. He murdered children. That was
Necro
his career choice.
out here saying Terrifier is going soft. They took away the nudity, now they took away the feces. Yeah, nobody
yeah, he
shit.
didn't
There
shit
was
in
no
this
shitting
one.
in
There's no
3. I was
shit.
pissed. I wanted to see
Yeah.
some shit.
Was there no shitting?
There was no shitting in this one.
Hmm.
I respect the franchise and I'm fascinated by them, but I can't bring myself to watch them. That's very fair. And I will never sit here and say you have to watch them.
Oh yeah, no, totally. It's not for
But-
everyone.
But there is something to be said about people who are like Damien and his team and all these people like David who've put so much effort into this to make it the success that it is and keeping it an independent project. That is like the main thing that I want people to understand when they like shit on this film is it's like, this is kind of fucking amazing because you've never, not only is this the highest grossing unrated film of all time, but it's one of the most successful independent horror films now of all time, where it's getting closer and closer to that mark every single day. And it's just, who could have seen that coming? Like the film has like, what is it at? Like 60 million, you said, Evan?
66 last I saw.
Shit.
66 million.
And that was like a couple days ago.
I mean,
And they
there's
beat out everything. Yeah, it beats out a lot of releases. It made more than Strangers Chapter 1.
Mhm.
You know.
So
It
glad
beat
that
out
happened.
everything. Yeah.
I mean, it very well could. Like, I know I was joking around, I think probably a few months ago with you and Alex, Evan, where I was like, it's going to make $1 billion. Like, it's not going to make that, but it very well could cap out depending on how long they keep it in theaters. If they keep it through Christmas, like they're trying to,
They're saying they're gonna like bring it back for Christmas. at
that's,
least. Yeah.
I heard that, or if it keeps going, they're going to try to keep it because they only have a month.
I heard the
That'll be
VOD
interesting because the
date
Blu-ray
is-
is coming out in December, so you'll
Yeah.
have the Blu-ray
Yeah.
release.
I
at
think the
same
VOD
time.
is like 26th, I think.
November.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
But like, I think they could do it to where it's like, if they do it, and because like, you know how I know some people have said they might do like, you know how they did, like, not saying they're going to do it like this, but you know how Deadpool, they had that re-release for Deadpool 2 where it was all Christmas themed.
yeah.
I think they could do something with this where I know Damien said that he has extra footage that they cut.
I was actually
just to,
reading
like,
about
the
what
last-
that footage was specifically.
What was it?
Because he was addressing how people were like wanting to see Sienna go back to the Terrifier, and they wanted to see what happened with Jonathan. They didn't shoot any of that. None of that footage exists. All the stuff that was cut from the movie was just like more scenes with Sienna's family. So you just get more interactions with the family, basically, was what it was some like a bit more character development. And I guess there was one interaction between Gabby and Art in the third act that is like pretty fucked up that they didn't keep. So who knows?
I'll watch it. I don't know.
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, it's like,
I'll
I'd be
watch it.
curious
I
to
gotta
see
like
it.
it. Yeah.
I same here. So like that's the thing. I was like, I figured that's what they would probably try to do to entice people, would be to just, you know, have the extended cut be released for a weekend over the holidays.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I'm curious. What I was trying to say to get all of that is there is a pretty good chance this thing could get close to, if not hit 100 mil before it's
That would be
Ooh, that's a
insane.
long
falls
ways
out of
still,
theaters.
yeah.
It is still a long ways, but the fact that it's even at 66 is still kind of like, I didn't see it getting that far. I thought even after the opening weekend, I thought 50 and then it's out. But the fact that we've gone over that, that's pretty impressive.
Well, it's made like 30 times its budget. Like that has to be some sort of record too.
That's something.
Stuff. Yeah. Where
I'm
Skinamarink was made for nothing. Yeah, so.
And then Ty says, those haters don't understand how far Vicky's glass shard scene could have gone. Absolutely.
Yeah, I
Hope it
think I do
stops.
see Terrifier hate comments, but I just go, I don't know. Maybe they don't
Yeah.
register. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it. I mean, hey, you're a stronger man than us for that. Then I
I
believe
actually
it.
deleted the YouTube Studio app off my phone, and I have not been looking at any comments recently, just for
Good.
mental health purposes. But
I'm just really good now. It just,
well, that's not quite true. Not any,
I
but
mean,
Wow,
this might
deleted.
sound
That's
shitty.
bold.
I was checking it
This
too much.
this might
Yeah.
sound shitty, but I've gotten really good at just like I'll read the first couple lines of a comment, and if I realize that it's just some shithead, just bashing Terrifier or bashing me for liking it, I just like, oh, okay, I'm done, and
Yeah,
then
yeah,
just go
right.
from there.
Oh my
But
God,
I
Ken!
huh?
Hi.
Oh, what's happening? What's happening?
Ken made it
Hey,
just for the end of the
Sledgehammer.
show.
There he is.
What's going on,
What's up,
Ken?
buddy?
What's happening? Oh God, it's hot in here. Oh, thank you. That's the nicest thing
Send me a
anybody's ever
DM,
said
buddy.
about me. Yeah, let's see. So what else do we want to address here, fellas? Anybody in the chat got any recommendations as we circle up here? We're getting towards the end of the show. Any news stories they want us to talk about? I mean, I still have a handful of things left from the last couple of weeks that we could dive into. I know that
I
we're
probably do have to
getting
wrap up pretty soon
okay.
here.
I gotcha. So if we're gonna talk about anything, I think one of the pieces here I want to talk about that's not very much, so we'll skip on that. We talked about the scary movie stuff. I'm kind of in between a couple. Let me
Oh,
see if anybody.
Heretic. I'm gonna make a video about that, but they don't show anything. What the blueberry or some screenings are showing blueberries, or they're gonna pump in smell or
Yeah,
something.
they're doing
What the
blueberry
hell's that?
smells. I don't know what the context is, other than I
Interesting.
think there's like some pie stuff that's involved there, but I'm very curious what
Oh,
all
there's
that's going to
one.
be.
Ken brings up a good one, the black phone.
Yes, we did talk about that a little bit at the start, but we weren't recording or we weren't live.
Yeah.
The Black Phone 2 has officially begun production, and yes, we also did. I think they move the release date, or is it still the same? The October 17th.
Oh, that's gonna be the October movie, I
Yep,
guess. All
that's what they're
right.
going to move to October. I'm fine with it. I certainly have no qualms with that. And then they also said that Megan will be coming out. What they say, June of 2025.
I can't lie, I'm excited for that.
Oh, Megan, I'm excited.
I'm
Yeah.
excited. Ty, Blumhouse Christine remake I'm not aware of, but I am aware of the guy behind Hannibal creating a series for it, if I recall, which I am excited about.
Yeah,
Hannibal, yeah.
I'm gonna check on that Christine thing, but the Black Phone 2, I mean, I don't think that movie needs a sequel personally. I wasn't like over the moon that they were doing one, but it's not something that I'm going to say like no to, because I mean,
love
you
the Black
brought back
Phone.
Scott Derrickson and you brought back C. Robert Cargill. Like, I'm all for that. I just
The
don't
last
know
time
if
there was
like
a
the Black
sequel to
Phone
one of
needs
their
a sequel.
movies, it was Sinister 2.
But he didn't direct that one.
I know he didn't. I know. But he did write it.
So bad day at the
Script
office.
matters, buddy.
Bad day at the office. It can happen. No, I'm going to stay optimistic about this one. I definitely, again, it just seems like a weird one to do a sequel to. I would have thought that we would have gotten Sinister 3 before we got a Black Phone sequel, but
I wish.
yeah. Hey, no bad words about Sinister 2, says Ken.
What?
Is Sinister 2 that beloved?
No.
Yeah. Like, they have a fan base?
That is a Sledgehammer horror hot take we need to hear about. In defense of, we need an episode. I hear Megan is November 2025. Yes, that's what it was, November. Oh yeah, this was the other one, Outlast. Are we any Outlast fans?
Yeah, I like Outlast.
They're
I haven't played the
finally
last one, Outlast Trials. I haven't played that one.
Personal hot take. I think it's my fun.
yeah.
Okay,
Lionsgate's
fun.
doing
You can
that.
enjoy it.
So.
I don't hate that, but
Yeah, Lionsgate's doing that one. I played the first two. I also didn't play 3, but I am a fan. I wonder, do you guys think that's going to be a found footage movie? Do you think it has to be?
No.
I don't think it has to be.
You don't think so? Okay. How would you like them to do
analog. I don't know.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Or are we gonna go for like a Skinamarink approach where it feels like it's being recorded or something out of something, but
That could be
it's
cool.
not.
I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. All right, and then last
We don't
piece
have
that I'm
enough
gonna
to go off of for it yet.
Yeah.
last piece I just want to mention it. There's not much news here. I may be the only one interested in this, but it is in the title. With a new Godzilla movie was announced from Toho. Absolutely thrilled about that. The 70th anniversary was yesterday. So I mean, Godzilla -1 absolutely destroyed at the box office last year. Was beloved by so many. Won an Oscar, and it's about time my boy got his day in the spotlight. I'm all for this. I love that they're bringing back the same director. I'm curious if this is going to be a sequel to -1 or if they're going to be taking kind of another new approach, because I thought that we would get a Shin Godzilla sequel and we didn't. We got -1. But I think because this one is so much faster of like a turnaround that we're probably going to at least follow up with -1. But I'm always curious to see what they're going to do with it, because I always feel like Toho, they are always willing to take risks with Godzilla, and that's what I appreciate about them. All right, guys, thank you.
Yeah, cool. Well, they got Godzilla versus Kong 1 and 2. It seems like they would do another one. There's so many Godzillas running around, and I go, "What? We can't have two Michaels running around? We can't?" Or there was two Chuckies, pretty much. So
there were more than two Chuckies. There was like
I mean, there
7
was
Chuckies.
there was the Mark Hamill Chucky in that universe, and then they came back and then did Cult of Chucky, I think, came afterwards. I don't
Respect.
know. Yeah.
But alrighty, guys.
The DACA Chucky on Shudder fucking slaps too.
Yeah, I've heard some good things about that. I can't believe that one like skipped our radar for Shudder's releasing. We should have hit up our one of our contacts for them, because I personally we were so burned out by the end of October. This last week was like a recovery week for me of just like, I still watched new horror stuff, but I just needed a breath. I was like, man, I am tired. Like we just watched The Black Cab, the new Nick Frost horror film. So we'll be talking about that this week here. And yeah, it's going to be neat. But I think with Evan having to dip here, I'm getting a little sleepy myself and whatnot. But why don't we wrap things up here? Brian, let the folks know where they can find you and what you got coming up on the channel, sir.
Sure, yeah, Slasher and Suits. I think I got a Substance video coming up. Like, yeah, I already made one, but I was gonna make it with all the gore and such.
Mm-hmm.
Alternate take for Alien Romulus. Yeah, I'm going to New Orleans tomorrow, so
hell yeah,
try
dude.
to get a whole bunch of videos lined up. And yeah, and Heretic, and yeah, that's pretty much all November. November seems like a definitely October hangover sort of month.
100%. It's so slow. It's going to be real slow this month. But we do get Creep tapes, which I can't say I've seen about half of now, and it's pretty good. If you like Creep, you're going to love this show. So that's pretty
Creep.
cool. Evan, what's going on over at the Graves, my boy? What do you got coming up?
I may as well. I'm usually only doing these for patrons and YouTube members, but I only just started doing that, so I may as well just go over the videos I have dropping in November. So I just put out Horror of Dracula. Then what we have left is the original Nosferatu, and then I'm doing an anniversary video for Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
Because
shit.
the 40th anniversary is coming up. And then to end the month out, The Lighthouse. It's
Hell yeah.
continuing the countdown to the new Eggers film that I haven't actually mentioned yet. But yeah, so that's what I've got lined up for the rest of the month, and then we're into the Christmas season.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, it all sounds very, very fun there. Necro, my boy, always coming in. I want Godzilla War movie. I really want to see kaiju fighting kaiju, but people think that we need human characters. So just having the military versus Godzilla would be the best case scenario for me. Necro, I love you. I'm right there with you. Necro found our channel, I believe, through Godzilla. So That's our guy right there. He's
There
the
you
man.
go.
Godzilla versus Kong. They were all fighting each other. What are you talking
Oh yeah,
about? We
we
just got
just
it.
need no people. That's what we're saying. We just want
I
the
think
kaiju.
Godzilla and Kong 2, whatever that was called, it's had like very limited people, it felt like. Like
Mm.
I
It
think you
was
put all the
probably as
people
close as
together.
they could get. Yeah,
Yeah.
to not having it. But yeah, I am definitely looking forward to that. Splattercast, like I said, we have the Black Cab coming out, review for that this week. We have an extra list video. Luke has a list coming out on Wednesday that he's been working on. Pretty exciting stuff there. And then I'll have another one up on Sunday. We also have a little bit of a fun thing going on tomorrow that I'm going to mention now just because it was just going to kind of be a surprise. But I feel like the people who are in here will appreciate it. With it being the election tomorrow, with everybody voting, we thought we'd have a little bit of fun. Splattercast, we're going to be running our own little presidential election. We're going to be a bunch of nerds. We're going to have like Freddie and Jason and a bunch of other people as candidates, and we're going to have a vote going all day. So we're going to see who we're voting for horror presidents. I think you guys are going to like the lineups. Luke and I have selected president and vice president for each, so I think the lineups are pretty fun. So I'm going to have a good deal of fun posting those in the community
Gremlins for
tabs.
president.
That would have been a fun one. We don't go there, but I think that would have been a good one.
Like who runs with who? Like Art and Victoria? Or
Yeah,
so
you have VPs or
I'll just announce. So we're going to have Michael and Jason as Freddie and Jason as Freddie for president, Jason as vice. I'm just putting those two on the same team. I thought it would be kind of fun. We're going to have Megan and Tiffany running for president. We're going to have Tiffany as president, Megan as vice. And then we're going to have Art and Victoria. And then another one we're kind of tossing around a couple more. We have, because we can only have 4 picks on the community tab. The other one that I was tossing around with Luke was we were either going to do Michael and Sam from Trick or Treat, or we're going to do
I thought Michael was with Jason.
No, I messed up when I said that.
Oh.
It's Jason and Freddie.
Speak. They can't, right?
Yeah,
they need to speech.
I was gonna say the next one and then I wanted to do one with kind of heroes too. So I was gonna say we're gonna do one with Sienna and Ash. Was another one that might be an option. So
we're gonna
see. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. But I'm very curious to see. It could go nowhere, but I think that it'll be a nice little fun way to do it because I know for some people it might be a stressful day tomorrow. Get your head out of it. It's never any fun whenever there's a lot of big changes going on. So I think like it'll be a nice kind of reprieve from all of it because it is what it is. Big day for our country. Don't forget to vote, and don't forget to vote for your favorite horror president, and we'll have them running the show.
Well, I gotta find out their stance on stuff before.
I thought about doing that. See, this was such a last minute idea that we came up with the other day. And I was just like, I have a couple things written for like speeches and little things. But I was like, if I would have jumped on this like a month ago, I would have had like little YouTube shorts of like campaign ads where they're just ripping each other apart.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that would have been so fun, but it is what it is. So we're going to do a little bit of that tomorrow. So definitely keep an eye out on the community tab, participate if you'd like. And yeah, that's going to wrap us up here, guys. So thank you so much for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to Slasher in Suits. And that is going to wrap us up here. Do I do it without Alex? Does it make sense, Evan? Or do I let it go?
Practice.
You think I need to practice? How dare you?
You've gotten it right once.
Twice. Thank you very much. But alrighty, guys. Let's get through. Let's see if I can do it.
You got this, buddy.
Alrighty. So until next time, remember, long live the void, stay scared, and we hope you enjoyed your stay. That's what I'm talking about.
All
Alright, guys. Have a good one.